I'll call this Bang Bang. Seriously?
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Pull up, bitch.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up.
Objection. Objection.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. KO. Bang bang.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up.
Bang, bang.
Right?
Yeah.
The bang bang, the bang bang, pull up. The bang bang, the bang bang.
Bang, bang. Bang, bang. Bang, bang.
All right, Mr. Lally, your next witness, please.
Yes, Your Honor, the call multi-call Trooper Michael Proctor to the stand. Please state your name and spell your last name for the jury.
I'm Michael Proctor, 𝗺𝗄𝗃𝗺.
You're a bitch, bro.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
I will fuck you up. I will beat your ass. I will fuck you up.
I'm going to allow it.
Bang, bang.
My name is Aidan Kearney, also known as Turtleboy.
Is a senior editor for Turtleboy Daily News.
I'm a big fan.
We've broken hundreds of stories that the mainstream media won't touch.
Some blogger in Massachusetts who's getting to the bottom of this better than anybody.
Why is it Turtleboy that is covering such important issues? Where is the rest of the media?
You need to not say that you were gonna take my baby out of revenge and make him a transgender baby.
Stop it.
Don't you want to ask some questions? I know you do.
I do. I
know
have that.
People don't like the things that I say and want me to stop saying them, but I won't. I'm never gonna stop. These are the kind of stories that must be told.
And I will not be intimidated. I will not be silenced. And we will continue on our journey for justice for John O'Keefe and for Karen Reed.
Tick, tick, boom. Noise. Go, baby, we bringing out toys. Boys, chop up the thing, it should be on the voice. Bang, bang, we gon' ride out. Gang, gang, we don't die out. Want it like this, ain't no timeouts. Tell me who really gon' find out.
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets.
Karen Reed has supporters who've shown up in large numbers.
Tick, tick, boom.
Hard body, and not scaring nobody. You make me resort to wild, and you must be blind by the diamonds. I didn't want it to be this way, but y'all won't need to try this, so it's no way around it. You the loudest one, it's going quiet. We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
This is the first time I think I've ever seen this. An outpouring of support for someone accused of murdering a Boston police officer. Unbelievable situation. Never seen anything like it.
Tick, tick, boom.
You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me? You can't stop me, so who gon' stop me?
We be disturbing the peace. Working, we serving the streets. About to go going beast. Bang, bang, leave you sleep.
Yo, what's up, turtle people? How's everyone doing tonight? Good, good, excellent. Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Aidan Kearney. You can call me a variety of names if you'd like. You can call me, what can you call me? You can call me Uncle Turtleboy. That's what old school turtle riders know me as. You can call me Dr. Turtleboy. I actually prefer doctor. It's my pronoun of choice, so respect my pronouns, please. You can call me Daddy if you'd like. I understand for some of you, especially the 20%, might be a little bit weird. Totally not mandated, but I will allow it. You can call me, what else can you call me? 𝗃𝗵𝗃𝗀𝗃𝗃 𝗺𝗃. That's my true crime name. You can call me Journalism Jesus. I don't care what you call me. Just be here every Tuesday and Saturday night at 9 p.m. and make sure you smash that subscribe button. What are we up to for subscribers? Yesterday, we were just trying to pass 118,000. Today, we're now at 118,991. Can we get 9 more people? There's 3,600 people watching on YouTube right now already. I bet you there's 9 of you, at least, that haven't hit the subscribe button. So let me refresh this. 996. Only 4 more. Only 4 more. Let's see what happens. One more refresh. We did it. 119,000. That was easy. Cool. All right. So we're getting tomorrow, maybe 120. We're gaining like 1,000 people a day. So that's pretty cool. Anyway, yeah. Like I said, normally it's Tuesday and Saturday night, but I said I was going to go every night during the trial when I can. I had a little situation last Wednesday. That's the only night I took off. We'll see how long we could do this for. I feel like there was way more days off last trial. Like this went a lot more slowly. This is moving, dude. This is moving. Like this trial, dude. I feel like Hank Brennan's close to done. Don't you? I get that feeling. I made a tweet. He has not called. Let's just bring up his freaking thing here. Let's look who he hasn't called yet. Let's check out the witness list. Because we are now 10 days into this shindig. All right. So I've highlighted the people who have gone. Okay. No one with the last name Albert has been called. And honestly, like, I'm going to go through here and I'm going to put in pink the ones I don't think they're calling. Ready? I don't think they're calling Brian Albert. The more, like, dude, why haven't they called him yet? He's the homeowner. Like, I don't know. He didn't come out of the house. Why give the jury something to fuck with, you know? Like, Brian Albert has nothing incriminating to say about Karen Reed, right? So I don't know. I just have a feeling that he's not calling him, you know? Like, why hasn't he called him yet? I'm just saying. What about, therefore, you know, Brian Albert Jr., what's he going to say to hurt Karen Reed? What's Caitlin Albert going to say? Nothing. What's Chris Albert going to say? Nothing. I mean, Colin Albert's like invisible this trial because they can't, you know, accuse him of being involved in something he was most certainly involved in. Nicole, I mean, yeah, she cleaned everything up, but I don't know. Julie Albert, so we're not going to get a bukkake thing. I don't think any of these people are going to be called. I don't think we're going to see a single Albert up there. I mean, which is wild because these were some of the most entertaining witnesses of the last trial, especially Julie and Colin. And wow. Anyway, that sucks if they don't get called. But again, he's playing differently. He's got a different plan. Caitlin Boudreaux. This is Nathan Reed's wife. I don't think she's going to get called. Okay. They already called Mike Camerano, which I don't even know why they bothered with him. They're not going to call him. Okay. Katie Camerano. They're not going to call, obviously. They're not going to call Ricky D'Antano. Like they called yesterday Ryan Nagel and Heather Maxson, but not Ricky D'Antano. Why? Because he was probably the most sober of them because he was the driver, right? And so if he didn't drink, like, notice that's like the first thing Hank said to those two is like, so you were like, he's trying to discredit his own witnesses and be like, oh, they were so drunk that they weren't on there. You know what I mean? So there's that. Higgins. I don't know why the fuck they would call Brian Higgins. Like, why would they want to open themselves up to that, to calling Brian Higgins? Why is it not highlighting? It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, all you're doing is giving motive to the other side. Like, you're going to bring him up to read his messages again. We're going to do that again. I just don't see it happening. Remember, Hank's plan with this is just to like stick to the facts that Karen hit John with the car. Like, that's what he's trying to prove. And so that's why he's brought all the I hit him people. And, you know, that she was drunk. So he's trying to prove she was drunk, that she says she hit him. And then he's going to have his experts. Right. And so Jenna McCabe and Kerry Roberts both go to even though Kerry Roberts didn't say anything about, they know the Google search is going to happen. So they have to get Jen on there. And Jen Jen has to be called. She's the main witness. Has to be. Brian Albert is not as involved as her. Louis Jutridge, the IT guy. They might call him. I don't know though. Like, he didn't. Why? So they can ask him about the delete a library video. I definitely think they're going to call both kids. I think that's going to happen. No, I don't know. I should not have highlighted them. Okay. I'm off the list. I'm safe. I'm not getting called. I think we're good. I think we're good with that. Come on, stop doing that. Okay. Chubbs McCabe. I definitely think Chubbs McCabe has to be called because he was anything that can hurt her. And they're going to bring him on and be like, she was saying crazy shit in the driveway and blah, blah, blah. So I think she's getting called. I think the bagel has to be called because of the blob thing. Like, she's the only one that's going to lie and testify that she saw something resembling a body. Like, they have to have someone to say that they saw something resembling a body on the front lawn. They have to. So they got to call the bagel. And they asked Ryan a lot of questions about Julie. So I don't know. I just feel like they have to call her. Paul O'Keefe is definitely not going to be called, and neither is Aaron, especially Aaron. But Paul is just a liability because he put in writing that he was drunk last trial. That's why they called his mom first. Plus, he adds nothing. And Paul has definitely been put in timeout. Like, I don't know. I can't find shit about this. No one will talk about this. All I know is Paul O'Keefe used to sit in that front seat, staring at Karen Reed, glaring at her. And now he's gone. And he's sitting in the back seat, back left. He's like, it's like he got benched. He's picking his nose yesterday. He got caught. And why? The only thing I can think of that comes to mind is that he's staring at Karen Reed and he's like grilling her. And someone finally said something. Maybe one of her attorneys, maybe the judge felt uncomfortable with it. I don't know. But Paul got benched, dude. And that's a good thing, I think. Because ultimately the judge has to make the call on that, right? That had to be what that recess was for last Wednesday, that like hour-long recess. No, it wouldn't be a juror. I mean, a juror is not going to complain that like the victim's brother is intimidating or like what? Because they don't like the crotch shots. I don't get it. That to me, what, the jury wrote it out. Where are you guys? What? Why do people keep saying the juror complained? Where are you guys getting this from? No. Why do people keep saying this? He was harassing Karen. Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, he made a comment to her at the end of the trial that he shouldn't have last time. He stares at her. It's intimidating. A juror? Where are you guys getting this from? DM me if you have inside info on that. Melanie said a juror? Oh, I'm interested. The jury sent a note? What? How does Melanie know? I guess she's got sources. That's interesting. All right, cool. Anyway, that's even worse. If that's true, if a juror somehow is like uncomfortable and brought it to the judge about the victim's brother, I think that bodes well for Karen Read, don't you? In general, I don't know, but that's a rumor, so I don't know. I don't think either way they're not going to testify. No fucking way either of these two testifies. That's for sure. Kurt Roberts, I mean, what's he going to say? He was out for a little bit. He had a Bud Light. That's it. Scanlon ain't getting called. No fucking way. No, why did I do that? I did not mean Kerry should be in yellow. That means they've been called already. The Sullivan sluts, I don't see them being called. I don't see them being called. Rebecca Trayers, she was she could be called. She was the bartender at the waterfall. And remember, they're trying to prove she was drunk. So Michael Trotta. Will Michael Trotta be called? The DPW head, because that opens him up to, why did you guys lie? Like, why did Proctor lie in his report about Lucky Loughran? But then that gets convoluted. I don't know. I don't know about that. Gretchen ain't getting called. That's for goddamn sure. Let's see. Flamati will definitely be called. Okay, he will 100% be called, no doubt about it. Like he'll probably be tomorrow, I'm guessing. Matt Kelly ain't getting called. Matt Kelly's the baby face with the cute sister there, who's in Caitlin McAlbert's wedding party or whatever. So yeah, he's like the baby face one. He was the one that he was the best of all of them. He was like, no, I didn't hear anything about hit him. Therefore, they're not going to call her. Francis Walsh, he didn't say anything about hit him. He ain't getting called. You've been benched. Greg Woodbury, he didn't say anything about getting, so none of them are getting called. DGM Petro, he might get called because of the Sallyport videos, I'm guessing. But I'm telling you right now, Sergeant Good has not been called yet for a reason. None of these Canton cops have been called. Why? They were like the first ones last time. And we're hearing from all these random people before them. And like, why? Like, why haven't we heard from Lenka? Lenka went in the house. Maybe they don't want to open themselves up to that. I don't know. But the key thing is that none of these people heard her say, I hit him. Therefore, they are useless to her. Charles Ray, he testified today just about, they just wanted to bring him on so they could get his dash cam in there with the taillight, which is overrated and debunked, as they say. Debunked. No, I got the wrong color. All right. So he's going to be, all right. Then we got Stevie Seraph. I mean, again, they can't bring him because he's going to directly contradict Jen McCabe. He's going to say that she didn't say I hit him when he was, and he's going to contradict Katie McLaughlin, and he's going to say that I never said call Goody like that. There's no way they can. I mean, this is wild. This second trial sucks. They're not calling any good fun witnesses. Where's the fun witnesses? Jen McCabe was on drugs. They're not going to call Wanless. No fucking way. This guy he might get called. Brian Gallerani, because he did the testing on the taillight to see if Proctor and Bukaki had the DNA on it, I believe. Evan Brent, I don't even know who the fuck that is. He ain't getting called. Bukaki will get called. Bukaki, I'm expecting to be one of the next witnesses, I would guess. I think he's going to be the point guy. Him and Tully. They'll call Tully too. No doubt they'll call Tully. Garino's done, so we can fill him in yellow. And by the way, they did not cross-examine Nicholas Garino today. What's up with that? What do you guys think of that? Of Nicholas Garino not being called to be cross-examined. I mean, here's the thing about it now. Whiffen took on his role. Ian Whiffen is the up and down stairs guy now. He's that guy. So I guess they don't need Guarino anymore. Guarino's just there to read the texts and play the videos. I mean, I guess there was no need to. If he's not going to say the controversial shit, yeah, what are they going to cross-examine him about that he's given testimony for so far? All he's done is read the text messages. That's it. So there's really nothing to say. And of course, on the day that he's up there, Auntie Bev decides to rule that Sandra Birchmore cannot get brought into this, which particularly impacts Guarino because he said he couldn't find 32,709 text messages. Right. Who else? Let's see. Zachary Clark. He ain't getting called. I don't even know who the fuck that is. Kevin O'Hara got called today, so we can do that one in yellow. Okay. Joseph Paul, who is the most entertaining witness of trial number 1. They're not calling him. No fucking way. So we can cross him out right now. He was a disaster. And then the one we've all been waiting for, Michael Proctor. Okay. Michael Proctor. Let's do a little vote here. If we think Michael Proctor is going to be called. Will Michael Proctor be called as a witness? All right. We are up to how many votes we got? 700 votes. 65% of you say yes. I'm taking that poll down. I got to be more clear. Okay. About by the prosecution. We know he will definitely be called. No doubt about it. Let me start it. Okay. Let me do this. Will Michael Proctor be called by the prosecution? That's the question. What do you guys think? Will he be called by the prosecution? Oh, so now it's like now the tables have turned. 70% of you say no. %70 of you say no. And you know what? I agree with the 70%. I do not think he's going to be called. They're just going to have 𝗃𝗏𝗆 do it. Brian Tully, he'll be called. He'll definitely be called, I think. Bodhi Technology. So this is they're definitely going to call these people because they're trying to get her on the hair on the car. So those two will be called. Terry Kuhn, they'll call her because she does the DNA testing of the swab. So she'll be called. Some of these people will be called. I'm guessing which one's the DNA guys? Wasn't Andre Porto? Wasn't he? Oh, Hannah Nobles was just called. So let me clear her off. She wasn't in the first trial. I think she did what Andre Porto did last time. Didn't Andre Porto, was he the one that did the who was the African-American fella that wore like the brand on his polo shirt in the first one? Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Oh, she was the sub. Okay, was she the sub for Porto? Or was Porto the DNA guy? Hannah was a dipshit. That's interesting. So the retrograde I don't even know what retrograde extrapolation. So Porto is the alcohol guy. So that means they ain't gonna call him. Which one's the DNA guy? The nerdy looking DNA guy that's like to the 1 in 1/1,000,000,000th power. This is chances it's John O'Keefe's hair or something like that. So one of these guys is that. One of these people. So Christina Hanley, Ashley Valère, who I think is a they them. And Maureen Hartnett. No, and Christina Hanley and Maureen Hartnett. Those three got called last time. I'm guessing you'll hear from them again because they all they handled the evidence, so they're going to call them for sure. But at least it'll be fast with them. And then the experts. Okay. Robert Gilman is the first expert that was called today. And let's see who's not going to get called. Man Shannon. He's definitely going to get called because he did the chip off. Colleen Crawford will definitely be called. James Crosby will they've invested so much in that they're going to call him. Jessica Hyde's definitely going to be called. Gary Fowler. Oh, that's another one they've called. They already called him. Come on, cut that shit out. All right, and then Andrew Klain. He is the crash reconstruction guy, and so is Mike Maroli. So I'm guessing, will they call Justin Rice, Dr. Rice? I don't even think he added much last trial, but they already got the other boring doctor in there. I don't know. They're not going to call 𝗺𝗿𝗆. Mark that shit down right now. She's done. No fucking way they call her. Renee Stonebridge. I don't know. She was pretty good for the defense too. I don't think they're going to call her because they got this Isaac guy now. I don't think they're going to call her. Judd the Chud, 100% is getting called. He's the whole case. And Wolf Isaac, he'll definitely be called too. So by my count, I see definitely 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, will be called 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, of this, another 4 of them will be called. So that's 3 of them be called. So that's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh, Helena's not getting called. 18. I think DG and Petra will be called. I'm guessing he will be. That's 19. Flamati's 20. I don't think they're going to call Trotta. They ain't going to waste their time with them. 21, Trayers. 22, The Bagel. 23, 𝗄𝗲𝗄𝗆. 24, 25, The Kids. They probably won't bother with this guy. 25. Okay, 25. I think they already called this guy. Didn't they call this guy already? So why don't we just make him yellow? Yeah, I mean, they got like 25 witnesses left, and the big ones are, I mean, I'm guessing that their case will be rested by the end of next week. That's my guess, that the Commonwealth will rest its case by the end of next week. That's a complete guess. I don't have any inside knowledge of that. I mean, just based on this list, what they can get through, because Hank goes so much faster. I matched up the Ryan Nagel testimony between Hank and Lalli. It's twice as long with Lalli. Everything with Lalli is twice as long. So yeah, it would be 4 weeks. You're right. That would be a 4-week presentation, which is still pretty long compared to other trials. Now let's look at the defense witness list for the Karen Read trial. Okay. Can I download it? Okay. Let's just go through. I don't have one of those pointy thing. I don't have this downloaded as a PDF right now. But let's check out the defense witness list, right? Who's left? All right. Who are they going to call? Brian Albert. Will they call Brian Albert? I say yes. I think I think the defense is going to call. I don't know the rules. I do. All I know about it is it's not as, you can't do as much shit if it's your witness. You can't do as much. I don't think you're allowed to impeach your own witness, I think. But you're allowed to call them a hostile witness if they're your witness. Anyway, and he just looks scary. You know, just he's fucking freaky looking, you know. Caitlin Albert, I don't know. I don't see the point. And Tristan's not even on the freaking list of the other list. Chris Albert, what are they going to call him for? What's he going to say? They're not doing the Colin angle as much as fun as that would be. You know, she's just going to make it not fun. So they're going to be like, what is this person for? Okay. Julie Albert, I don't see the point. Kevin Albert's a big one. They have to call Kevin Albert. Have to. 1000%. Nicole Albert, I don't see it happening. Cheryl Waugh and Michael Wagner, I believe these are the two people that got bit by the dog. I think they're going to get called. I don't know if they'll call Karen's PI Paul Mikowski. I'm not sure. I don't know who Leslie Pearlstein and Rebecca Bazin are. I doubt they'll be called. Nicholas Barros is 1000% getting called. I have no doubt they will call Nicholas Barros, and he will be fucking awesome. Like, he's going to be the cop that we're all waiting for, an honest cop. They have to call him. Lori Cahill, they're not calling her. She was like briefly harassed by Proctor at a Patriots game one time. They ain't calling her. Zach Clark, no, they're not going to call him. Chris, they're not going to call the Currans. Ricky D'Antano, I doubt it. It just seems like overkill. I don't even know what Kelly Deaver did. Stephanie Devlin, don't even know what she did. Don't know what that means. DeChico, they ain't going to call him. Haggerty. Now, they have to call Proctor, though. They have to. Like, the most important thing, I know a lot of people think ARCA is the most important thing. That's the second most important thing. The most important thing they need to do is read Proctor's text messages. That's the most important thing. Because you read those text messages and you are guaranteed not to have a conviction. Guaranteed. You will have at least one or two people on the jury that cannot get over those text messages. Like, they're just scarring. They're fucking horrible. And he's been fired because of that. Like, they have to read the text messages. Everything else, fuck it. I don't even think the text messages are that big of a deal. I mean, I do. They're a very big deal. I can think of 10 things that are a much bigger deal than the text messages, though. But that is what resonates the most, particularly with women. You have to read those messages, period. Done. Higgins. Now, do you call Higgins if you're the defense? If you're the prosecution and the prosecution doesn't call Higgins, does the defense? What do you think? I mean, what does that benefit Karen Reed, having to read those awkward text messages again? But, you know, they get them on. But no. You know why they have to call Brian Albert and Higgins? Because of the butt dials. You have to do it because of that. You have to call them because of the butt dials at 2:22 in the morning. And now you got video of Higgins at the police station. Oh, in the waterfall video. Yeah. Higgins 1000% must be called. Must be called. Absolutely. Okay. 1000%. I'd even call some of these Matt Kellys of the world. I mean, or you could point out in closing that, like, there's all these other firefighters and these are the only ones you called, but bring them on and just ask them that one question. Lucky's obviously getting called. I don't think Lanker is going to get called. If the Commonwealth doesn't call him. Allie McCabe, will they waste their time with her? Because she's only useful for the Colin angle. So if they're not going with the Colin angle, then she's fucking useless. Let's see. Nelson, I'm not calling him. Okay. Holly Price. She works for Google. I forgot what she was on the witness list last time. They didn't call her. Trooper Prince. They didn't call her last time. She interviewed Jen McCabe once and gave some inconsistent testimony. Definitely Proctor. I don't know who Wendell Robery is. No clue. Stephen Ridge and Eddie Hernandez. They wish they could call them. Auntie Bev didn't let them call them last time. Those are the two guys that got punched supposedly by Brian Albert. So I don't know. I don't know who Angela Malvoni is. Brian Tully will be called by the others. Courtney Proctor. Now, you don't really need her. You don't really need her. Tristan Morris. I think Tristan Morris would be a good witness to call, even though he's so defiant, just because he's another person who drove by the scene and didn't see a body. That's all you need him for. And potentially took the dog home, even though he'll never admit to that. Tom Beatty and Aaron Beatty. Those are two people I would consider because of the harassment and intimidation they went through as a result of this. I think that's not a bad thing. Just it gives a big picture about what's happening. I'm just thinking none of these people are going to be called. Matt Kelch, the guy that I believe Higgins called him his best friend. That's my best friend for life. And he helps me download stuff from my phone when I need to. Tom Kelleher and Annie Chung are the residents of 31 and 32 Fairview Road. To me, they're must calls. Both of them. Both of them. Especially Annie, because she took those pictures. She was she was awoken by the hubbubaloo outside. 𝗺𝗿𝗍𝗂𝗆. I don't know if they're going to call her because they got their own Emmy now, you know. Koskowski, he was on the text messages. Joe Paul. I say yes to Joe Paul. Bring Joe Paul back. Have him do his theory again, especially because it's going to differ from Judd Welcher's theory. I say bring it. Fuck it. And then they're experts. Okay. Richard Green, 1000% is getting called. No doubt about it. Wolf, the Crash Daddies, no doubt about it. Maggie Gaffney. I don't know. She's a former trooper. I forget what she does now. I'm not sure. Derek Ellington. What the fuck does Derek Ellington do? I researched this before. Oh, he does nationally recognized digital forensics. Well, that could be interesting. We'll see. Matt Erickson, that's another one of their in DeSogra. These are all their technical people. Michael Easter, dude, would have been the most useful witness of all of them, and Auntie Bev wouldn't let him have it. It's such bullshit. Elizabeth 𝗵𝗂𝗵𝗂𝗧𝘂. Yeah. This is the medical examiner who's going to say that John didn't die from hypothermia. So that's a yes. Dr. Russell, that's a yes. After all they had to go through for that. And Garrett Wing, 1000%. Okay. So, I would expect the defense to take a couple weeks with their testimony, if not like 3 weeks, maybe. So I think we're looking at, we could have a jury deliberations by second week of June. I think we could have that. Second week of June, we could have jury deliberations, which is wild. And by the way, the judge 6 days ago, in my case, Judge Doolin, said that he is, what's he doing? That he'd get back to us with the motion to dismiss, in my case, within 10 to 14 days. Wouldn't that be a fucking treat, folks? Would that not be awesome? Oh. So we'll see. But I don't know. It's weird. Like the everything's different this time around. It's not as entertaining. Like I miss the comedy of it all. It's not as funny anymore. Being down at the courthouse with the new buffer zone is a downer. A lot of people hopefully will go Thursday. I'd like to see as many people down there as possible. All right, in the morning, get your ass down there to Dedham. I'll be there on Thursday morning. And yeah, it's boring compared to last year, Mazza says. And what like the trial is, yeah, it's definitely not. There's not as many funny moments, that's for sure. I mean, it is a murder trial. It's supposed to be serious. But I don't know. All right, cool. Anyway, let's. Oh, and by the way, we won our motion. You guys see this? We won our motion that we argued last Wednesday. And we get all the communications between Krusty and the Commonwealth. That was the motion. So the affidavit from the anonymous affiant that Cosgrove tried doxing was good enough to, get us to have this motion allowed, right? That was why it was filed in the first place. So Cosgrove denied ever talking to her. He denied, but we want any communication. She talks to somebody. We're going to get it. So like they can't hide this shit. So anyway, that was a good win. All right, cool. Yeah, I got court next week too, dude. I'm suing the fake victim. So I have her motion to dismiss on the 13th in Worcester Superior Court. She's representing herself. She raised $2,500 to get a lawyer and then kept it all. Another grift, which I respect. I respect a good grift. But, I don't respect calling someone a rapist when they're not a rapist, and we just can't have that. So I have her motion dismiss is being heard on Tuesday, so I got to go to that. And then I have another thing with her because I have a trial coming up with her for violating a restraining order on June 9th in Dedham District Court. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. Anyway, so back to if anybody wants their messages read out loud during the show tonight, you can click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. You can pay whatever you want, write a message, and I will read the message out loud to the class. Okay, let's see what we got here. Got a bunch, I think. Okay. All right. Courtney sends $10 and goes, when 𝗵𝗶𝗧𝘂𝗍 said, congratulations on your career up to this point to the weatherman today, and then proceeded to dismantle him on the stand. Yeah, that was interesting. Talk about a boring witness. Oh my God. I understand it was somewhat important, but boring. Heather sends $10 and goes, keep telling the real story. Free Karen Reed. I'll do that. Thank you, Heather. Matthew sent $10 and goes, calm down, ladies. The weatherman is married. He's also like 1,000 years old. I think the defense should argue they scooped up cups of blood in the snow, but if John O'Keefe were hit at 12:30, there was less of an inch accumulated. It's true. Let's see. Jennifer sends $25, goes, I am living on fumes. Trial watch during the day and doctor at night, but follow all. Thanks for everything you do. Free Karen Reed and drop all the charges against Turtleboy. It's ridiculous. Hear, hear. Thank you. Sandra sends $25, goes, I feel a bit disappointed after today's testimonies. Like the defense is letting so much go. I know it can't be bombshells every day, but I know the defense has so much. Yeah, I just feel like they didn't go. O'Hara went. I mean, we're going to get to O'Hara's testimony today. He changed his testimony completely. Like where I did not, and they feel like they let him off the hook a little bit. I don't know. I kind of agree with you on that one. So thank you. Amber Turtle-Roo sends $200. Woo! Thank you, Amber Turtle-Roo. And says, I have court fan PTSD, almost as much as McAlbert PTSD. Those filthy fucks. Let Spanky have his tail light and leaf blower. He's got nothing else. Stick a fork in him. He's done. I'm with you on that one. Thank you, Amber Turtle-Roo. Very generous. Sandra sends $25 and says, I don't trust Hank. I feel like he's not calling witnesses on purpose to throw the defense a huge curveball. What's your take? 1,000%. He's not as stupid as Lalli. Lalli called all these witnesses up who just fucking destroyed his case and made him look stupid. And he's like, well, I have to call him. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to call Colin Albert. You don't have to call Brian Albert. I mean, they're going to, but I heard it's easier to get someone on cross-examination than it is on direct. So we'll see. All right, next. Bill sends $25. Did I read that one? And says, Big Dog, remember about a year ago, Sean in the Gulf had the wacko conspiracy theorist on who, Fiorillo? Yeah. He mentioned Brian Albert was part of the Winter Hill racket. And after seeing 𝗺𝗺cie, who had ties with Whitey Bulger's brothers, who went to hire Bulger's lawyer, you think there might be any truth to the ties, or should I take off my tinfoil hat? Bro, in one sentence, you just said you got this information from a, quote, wacko conspiracy theorist. And then on the other hand, you're asking me, should I take this seriously? I think you answered your own question. So thank you, Bill. I appreciate that. Jared sends $10, goes, is Victoria George influencing what the defense is trying to impeach each witness with? Seems they haven't brought up certain details that they did in the first trial. That wouldn't surprise me, Jared. It's an interesting take. I think it's well within the realm. I mean, that's what she's there for, right? To pick her brain about juries. Just saying. Brian sends $5 and goes, my brother was murdered back in 2012. Sorry, sir. I've been on the prosecuting side of a murder trial before. The killer was convicted. Granted, it was Suffolk County, not Norfolk, but still, it's mind-boggling to me how the O'Keefes aren't skeptical at all. Thank you. If my brother's case was like this, I know I would have a million questions for the DA, prosecutor, etc. Exactly. The evidence clearly shows her innocence. How can the O'Keefes continue to support this nonsense? It's sad. More than just their hatred for Karen Reed aside, like, to me, my love for my brother or whatever family member was murdered would outweigh any hatred I have for Karen Reed. And I'd just be like, yeah, well, I hate her and all, and she sucks, and she's kind of a cunt. But like, if she gets convicted and go to jail, like, they're not going to be sad about that at all. They're not going to like lose sleep over Karen or innocent person going to jail. But part of them has to be wondering, like, but what if she didn't do it? You know? But what if it was these guys? Like, that would, how can they rest? You know, how can they? I would want to know everything. I'd be like, Paul O'Keefe. This is why I don't like Paul O'Keefe, because he's just a lazy piece of shit, right? He's just a lazy piece of shit. He is, you know. I'll show you. Actually, I got a picture. I haven't shared this one yet. Let me find it. Give me one sec. Huh. Maybe let's see. It's definitely in my inbox somewhere. Okay. So I got this message the other day. Okay, brother, I have photos of Paul O'Keefe wasted at a kid's softball game. So his own kid's softball game, I guess, plays softball. And I'm like, what? And they go, yeah, he was ripping on his vape, double fisting beers. And I'm like, get the fuck out. Pixar, it didn't happen. Because he goes, no, it was at West Bridgewater opening day. The kids had a parade and he was wasted, stumbling around. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. I'll believe that when I see it. And then they sent me the picture. I'll send it. Let me send. Hold on. You guys got to see this. This is funny. This fucking guy is the least sympathetic murder victim's family member ever. All right, here it is. Yeah, that's Paul, right? Double fist. Why is he double fisting? There's like kids walking around and shit. They said the person who sent this said he was like stumbling. I guarantee he was driving. Just walking around shit-faced at a kid's game. What's he wearing for shoes? What are those things? What brand is that? Is that Walmart brand? What is that thing? Is that like a Check Plus? What is that? What brand is that? I know that. Why is it so fucking filthy? His white shoes. What is he even doing right now? What is going on, Paul O'Keefe? I mean, I never had much respect for him, but I lost respect for him real early on when he just wasn't interested. Like, all this stuff's coming forward about a Google search, and I understand you don't want to believe it, but part of something in the back of your head has to be saying, like, but what if it's real? Like, wouldn't you want to demand more answers? And he just does. When I had my first conversation with him in May of 2023, he's basically like, we'll see what comes out at trial. Like they weren't. I'm like, you're not like demanding answers now from the prosecution. Like, what the fuck? And he's just not, like he's whatever. I'm like, that's your family member, man. That's your family member. Like, how are you not? And I'll never forget his interview with Christina Rex when he talked about Michael Proctor. They just had a mistrial because of Michael Proctor. Like, you'll never convict Karen Read because of Michael Proctor. That's not Jen McCabe, not Brian Albert. Michael Proctor is the reason you'll never convict Karen Read. And so you would think that, like, dude, all of this was avoidable. Like, all of this. Like, why the fuck would you put that in writing, this shit? Why would you? Why did you have to be the lead detective? Anyone else could have done it. Even if you really believe Karen did this, any other detective, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 or some other 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, whatever, anybody who doesn't have, Facebook pictures where his mother is saying like that the Alberts are a second family, anything like that will do. But he just had to be involved. And, I don't know. It was just like, not only did he not seem upset with Michael Proctor, he defended him and said that his private text messages never should have been read. Like, how? What? Never? Like, you're defending him? He actually defended Michael Proctor. Disgusting. So anyway, I'm with you on that one, pal. Thanks, Brian. I'm sorry about your brother. CS sends $15, goes, I hate the clip Hank plays where Karen says John looks like a buffalo on the prairie. I feel like the jury will give credence to the bagel's black blob. That's interesting. That's an interesting analogy. I love how they act like the other side clutches their pearls over that one. Because they're like, oh my God, she called him a buffalo on the prairie. Yeah, she didn't fucking put him out there, though. These motherfuckers put him. Like, why don't you be a little more offended by that? Basically, he was impossible to miss. That's what she means by that. But I'm with you on that. Oh, Chris Albert sends $10 and he goes, what do you think about the shoe soles being different colors on John versus what was shown in court? I'm not entirely sure, and I don't understand why they would switch shoes. To me, that doesn't make much sense. I don't get it, but whatever. I'm not even wasting any time on that, like, because I don't get what that would even accomplish. Tiny Elvis sends $10, goes, the defense should swing from the fence and take a page from A Few Good Men and call Morrissey to the stand. They can't. Bev won't let him. Get him to admit he ordered the code red. AJ White sends $25. He goes, do you think Michael Morrissey will be called? If not, why not? Well, same answer. Because Auntie Bev's not going to allow it. No fucking way. Gracie Lou sends $10. Goes, should we start making missing persons flyers for the Rock from Fairview? Find Rocky Albert. Maybe. NH Saint sends $20 and goes, I was going to donate $40, but I lost $20 to a buddy at work that Derek White was white. What the fuck was I thinking? You thought Derek White was white or not white? We had this debate the other day, and I did not know that. I guess he's mixed. Like, he has one parent who's white and one who's not white. But I don't know what percent. I don't even know if we're supposed to have in this conversation. So thank you. Katie sent $10 and goes, do you know if the defense calls Proctor and he pleads the fifth, will they still be able to read his texts for the jury? Why would he can't plead the fifth to anything? He doesn't have pending criminal charges. Thank you. Cuck Brennan sends $5 and goes, do the gay Brian Albert Jr. voice. It is unnatural for you to say his name and not do his voice. Auntie JJ. I love my Auntie JJ. Oh yeah, that's Auntie JJ. Auntie JJ. P.S. Paul O'Keefe looks more depressed this last week, having his seat moved, than he ever seemed in the past 2 years of court appearances and countless media interviews. Countless. He's done one media interview. That's it. Iron Sheik sends $5 and goes, Karen Read is innocent, you Boston jabroni cowards. Biggest cover-up I ever see. Trooper Bukaki Proctor, you lie, you kill, you blame the wrong woman. I break your back. I make you humble. Then I suplex your police station through the floor. Iran, number one. Alan Jackson, number one. Hank Brennan, 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, you dumb, stupid Zoom lawyer. Okay. Thank you, Iron Sheik. I appreciate that. Let's see. Carrie sends $10 and says, I think the defense will absolutely call 𝗺cie_𝗵𝗺. Jackson made her a part of his closing, saying the Commonwealth doesn't convince their own ME that it's a homicide. He said something like, she didn't buy it, but here they are selling it to you. That's true. She was a great defense witness. I'm with you on that. 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 sends $10 and goes, keep being a slay baddie. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I will. Angie sends $5 and says, can the defense use the inverted video and to highlight the missing time? It's going to be interesting if they call 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 in the next couple days. What if they even reference the inverted video anymore? We'll see. Rosaline sends $10, goes, Dr. Turtleboy, after Gallagher's testimony, I'm even more pissed that Judge Bev denied Easter. I know. As a defense expert, the defense could have asked Garino if there are any voicemails on John O'Keefe's phone from Jen McCabe's butt dials. That's a good point. It's a good point. You could definitely ask him that. Butt dials leave voicemails. Yes, they do. I like that. This has turned into a butt trial. Thanks, Turtleboy. Me sends $25 and goes, how does Matt McCabe not see John, let alone 46 pieces of reflective taillight while backing out of a driveway and illuminating the lawn and road while driving by? Exactly. I hope the jurors ask the same questions. Let me read some cash apps here. And I'll get to the rest of your turtle chats a little later, but I want to get into the testimony. I've been doing this for a bit. Paige sends $10 and says, I don't know if AJ is doing as good as the first trial. Agree? I mean, I think he's doing fine. I mean, what's wrong with the job AJ's doing? I think he's doing fine. Shelby sends $20 and goes, I appreciate your rants. Bring me back to 2009 history. Oh, I was your history teacher. That's right, Shelby. Thank you for the $20. I appreciate that. Katrina sends $5 and goes, why did Karen call John a pervert? Strange, right? Because he stuck his dick in some nasty hose. You know, that's, you know, I mean, he was the crown prince of Canton. Is that what they call him? Is that what she called him? The royal whatever of Canton? You know, we've all been there before. So she called him a pervert. You know, it is what it is. Holly sends $10 and goes, reason the defense is still allowing the altered vids today. I don't understand the question. Thanks, Holly. What altered vids? I don't know what you're talking about. Joanne sends $25 and goes, don't give up. We all got your back. Thanks, Joanne. I appreciate that. Let's see. And okay, I think I got all those. Cool. All right. If anyone else wants their message read, I know I have some turtle chats I didn't get to, but we'll get them a little later. Because we got to get started with this whole thing now. Talk about the testimony today. We got about 10,000 people watching on the YouTube. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. Give us a big thumbs up afterwards, and we're going to have a great time. Okay. Let me pull up my time stamps here. All right. Let's start with, we're going to start with yesterday's testimony of douchebag Gallagher. This mofo. King mofo. All right. First time stamp is 6:05:55.
Are you thinking about looking in any other areas around that?
Not at that time.
Why not?
We didn't have any reason to. We only had the area where he was found.
And at that point, did you have any idea what caused his injuries?
We had none.
At this point, when you were pointed or you're looking at the area where Mr. O'Keefe was found, was the area getting covered up at all?
Yes, it was.
With what?
Snow.
How quickly?
Very quickly. I believe it was forecasted to come down to 1 to 2 inches an hour, if I recall.
Did you have any idea how hard the ground was at that point?
This shit.
Did you have any idea?
It was frozen.
That whole line of questioning is such bullshit how he's allowed to ask that every time about is the ground frozen? And because they always say yes. It's like, what the fuck do you know? Did you touch the ground? Did you actually feel that it was frozen? Like, how do you know the ground? What does that even mean? That the ground is frozen? Yeah, it's fucking cold outside. Like, what? It's frozen like a popsicle? What does that mean? Ice freezes. Like, how does ground freeze? How? You can't freeze the ground. Is that even a thing? I don't even know. Like, it's just so stupid how this is allowed to be asked every time, because he's obviously going for the fact that the frozen ground caused the laceration in the back of the head. It doesn't matter. Exactly. There was no accident. It doesn't matter. Exactly, Whitey. There was no accident. Absolutely.
I'll allow it.
Of course you will.
How deep was the snow covering that frozen ground?
Approximately 4 inches at that time.
When you went to look around the area, did you consider using a rake or a shovel?
I did.
And did you?
I did not.
Why didn't you use a shovel at that point?
I was afraid I would miss something or possibly break something.
What could you break with a shovel?
Anything, glass or anything of that nature.
So I thought that was interesting. He didn't use a shovel because he was afraid he was going to miss something. Well, who did use shovels? The SERT team used shovels. He used a leaf blower. And we're going to get to his leaf blower shit. Don't fuck with this guy's leaf blower.
What was your decision about how you would search that area? What did you want to see?
I wanted to see anything that was possible, whether it was any type of weapon or any type of medical bottle or any reason that he could have come to where he was.
Did you think of a way that you could look below the top of the snow without unresting the scene?
Yes, I did.
And what did you conclude?
Because of the blood, the pink spots I thought might be blood. I thought a leaf blower would be the best method because I have seen it used and to remove light layers of snow, and it can be controlled.
And after having seen that before,
Can be
making that
controlled.
decision, what was the benefit of a leaf blower over a shovel?
I wasn't going to miss anything with a leaf blower. Much
I
better
love
control.
this.
And control, tell us what your intention. What was your hope with the leaf?
That wasn't going to miss anything with a leaf blower. Listen to how beautiful that testimony is. One.
Blower. And after having seen that before and making that decision, what was the benefit of a leaf blower over a shovel?
I wasn't going to miss anything with a leaf blower. Much better control.
I wasn't going to miss anything with a leaf blower. Anything. I hope they bring that up in closing. This dude said he wouldn't miss anything with a leaf blower. That certainly includes 47 pieces of red taillight.
And control, tell us what your intention. What was your hope with the leaf blower?
To clear the area, controlled, slowly, so any potential evidence of what happened to Mr. O'Keefe wouldn't be lost.
Did you?
Any potential evidence would not be lost or missed.
Have a leaf blower with you?
Did not.
So what did you do?
Sergeant Good volunteered to go get the leaf blower. Get a leaf blower.
Did you remain at the scene?
I did.
And during this time, are you still have no information that it's a crime scene?
We had no information on a crime at that time.
Did Sergeant Good come back with a leaf blower?
He did.
Did you try to get any other items to help you?
Not that I recall.
Okay. When Sergeant Good came back with a leaf blower, did you use it?
I did.
Was it successful?
Very.
Tell us
Very.
I started with low speed and began whisking away the snow. And
I love, dude, he is such a prick. He's just such a stubborn fuck. You could tell, like, he is not, everything he does is right all the time. He's one of these people. But I'll take it. I said it last night. I said it was my first thought on Twitter this morning. Don't disrespect the leaf blower. Guys, embrace the leaf blower. I don't like when people bring up the leaf blower in the solo cups. I never liked it. Because to me, it gets lost. Like, who gives a shit about the red solo cups? They held, all that does is show kind of how ghetto the operation is, but like nothing was affected by the red solo cups. So that even isn't even the top 100 issues I have with this case is the red solo cups. It's just kind of funny that the police department used red solo cups. It's just kind of funny, you know, but like who cares? He saw blood in the snow and he put it in. It's John O'Keefe's blood, obviously. It's not no one else's blood. So who cares? Like, what is that? What are they going to do with the blood? Like, how is that useful to the defense? Like, what are they going to do? Like, put someone else's blood in there? Like, are they going to put Karen Reed's blood in there? Like, what blood are they putting in there? Like, to me, they haven't used the blood to implicate Karen Reed for anything. So who gives a shit if they put them in red Solo cups, like in a Stop and Shop bag? It's just kind of funny. It's just kind of funny. But don't disrespect the leaf blower. The leaf blower is our friend, because the honestly top 5 reasons Karen Read is innocent is the camp police did not find any red tail light. They didn't find a fucking thing, and this is the mofo, and he's up here testifying about how fucking awesome and flawless his search was. Like, this is a gift.
And then I saw how it was uncovering those pink spots were becoming brighter red. So I verified it was frozen or coagulated blood at that time. And so out of the abundance of caution, I decided that that was something we may want to collect.
Why did you want to collect that?
Just out of abundance of caution, DNA. I expected it to be John's DNA. And I wasn't going to get a second chance at it. It was either collect it or never have it.
Were you making quick decisions under these circumstances?
Yes.
Did you ask somebody to get a container to put the coagulated blood in?
I ended up getting the containers.
Where did you get them from?
I got them from Lt Gallagher, who lived in the neighborhood.
Now this is the bigger issue, that he got him from Kelleher. That's the issue. So Kelleher, was good enough to give you red Solo cups, but not good enough to let you look at his video. That's the real issue. And why didn't you get him from, I don't know, Brian Albert, upon whose lawn the body was found? Why Kelleher?
Did Lieutenant Gallagher ever come over to the scene?
He did not.
Did he work for the Canton Police Department?
He did.
Why didn't he come over to the scene with you?
Because he originally thought the scene was at 32.
What the
Did you ask him to come over to the scene to help you?
No.
Did you expect him to come over to help you?
No.
Why not?
Sorry, not?
Why?
Correct.
So when you get the containers, were they plastic cups?
Yes, they were red Solo cups.
And what was the purpose of using the red Solo cups?
They were plastic. They weren't going to leak. They weren't going to get soggy. They were large. I needed a small sample. My thought was because it was frozen or coagulated, that we could collect it, transport it, and transfer it to the crime lab, who could extract the DNA however they saw best fit.
Do sometimes the crime lab test evidence and sometimes not?
Of course, yes.
Is that your decision?
No.
You were telling us about the leaf blower.
Oh yeah, tell us.
Back to
the leaf
excavate
blower.
The area?
It did.
Yes.
Did you begin that process?
I did.
And when you did that, did you try to memorialize it?
Yes, I did.
How did you do that?
I had Sergeant Good videotape it.
Why did you have Sergeant Good memorialize your efforts to excavate the area?
I thought someone may wonder why I decided to use a leaf blower, so I wanted to demonstrate its effectiveness.
Effectiveness. I love these words. Excavate. Effectiveness. He's like for future generations of, I was retiring in 2 years anyway and collecting a gigantic pension, living off the taxpayers for the rest of my life. So but I want to leave my mark on other junior cops out there about how fucking awesome my goddamn leaf blower is. Like dude, this is such a win. The leaf blower shit. Like, there's no red tail light there. Case closed. That's it. Case closed. The tail light appears later. The conspiracy is 1000% legitimate. I don't give a shit who put the tail light there. It wasn't there before. That's it.
I'm going to move to introduce 2 videos that council has.
And they show the video too. Like, what are they? Look at this shit. I love this video.
No objection to these videos, right? No objection. Exhibit 51. Thank you.
Look at this. Okay, look at his shoe. First of all, his shoe is what? You can see how much snow is around his shoe. It's an inch tops. Not even. There's like no snow there. I mean, the leaf blower is good. It works. It doesn't disturb the crime scene too much. It gets the light dust. I'm with him on this. The leaf blower plays. Now just picture a gigantic piece of taillight, which would probably be as big as this, like from here to here, a bright red piece of taillight anywhere in the area. It was around there somewhere. 46 of them mofos all around there. And he just does. This is the perfect video. Where is the red taillight? Where is it? Can any of the antis answer this question about where the goddamn red taillight is? Oh, they found something.
Could you, Ms. Gilman, stop at the end of the video so it's a still frame? That's good right there.
Well,
Sir, who's the person holding the leaf blower?
That is me.
Did the leaf blower work as you had hoped?
It was great.
It was great.
You see other footprints around that area.
Correct.
Do you know how those footprints got there?
Some of them were from first responders. Some of them were for witnesses. The ones up top by the flagpole were for when the officers put out the crime scene.
I'm not sure exactly where John was laying. Let me see. Yeah, this is a more zoomed out version of it. I mean, I don't know where the body was. So, like, it's been filled in with snow by this point. It was probably, let's be honest, there's probably snow there to begin with. But either way, this is interesting what they find.
That's good right there. Sir, who's the person holding the leaf blower?
That is me.
You can see the blood.
Did the leaf blower work as you had hoped?
It was great.
You see other footprints around that area.
Correct.
Do you know how those footprints got there?
Some of them were from first responders. Some of them were for witnesses. The ones up top by the flagpole were for when the officers put out the crime scene tape.
Did officers try to wrap the crime scene tape around the flagpole?
They did wrap it around the flagpole, yes.
I see. And from that vantage point, could you see the side and front yard?
Yes.
Did the side yard have any footprints or evidence that anything was dragged through the side yard?
No, not at all.
How about the front yard? Did the front yard have any evidence that anybody had walked across it or dragged anything across it?
It had one set of prints from Sergeant Lang.
Other than Sergeant Lang's footprints across the front yard, was there any other impediment?
Yeah, they left, you know, that they took John's body and they just dragged it across the fucking yard. No, they lifted his ass up. They're not going to leave marks like that. Come on, stop it.
No, not that I saw.
I'm going to ask if we could see the second video, please, Ms. Gilman. Could you stop there, please? You see the end of the leaf blower?
I do.
There's an object just below it at like 7 o'clock. Do you see that?
Ooh, right
Did
there.
you discover something in that area?
We did.
What did you discover?
It's a cocktail glass.
Was it, did it have any damage to it?
It did.
Describe that for us.
It was broken on the top.
Could you continue the video, please, Ms. Gilman? Stop, please. There's some red spots. Is that what you identified as coagulated blood?
That is.
Below some of those spots and to the left, there's an area that's not white. It's brownish. Do you know what that is?
That's, I believe, just bare ground.
If we could finish the video, please.
It's bare ground, aka there wasn't much snow.
Photograph.
I do.
You know what that photograph?
Do you want?
It gets logged into evidence, and it's a property number for it. And I believe in this case, it was 22-18-PR, which means 22 is the year, 2022.
And then
18
okay,
is.
and then
And now I ask you to open the box.
he
Please.
gets to have a box, and then he brings this up. Okay, so that thing right there, that is it's called transparent. Means you can see through it, which is probably the hardest shit to find in the snow because you can see through it. It's not bright at all. It's the opposite of bright. You can see through it. It's a glass. You know, y'all know what a glass looks like. So the fact that he could find that thing right there, now compare that to Proctor's gigantic red taillight that he found. Again, we've seen this before. I probably have a picture of it received. What's today? No, that's not it. That's not it. I'll Google it. Michael Proctor taillight images. I want to show him with the big piece. Huh. Michael Proctor, let's see. tail light, February 18th. I know we found it that day, February 18th. Let's see. Come on, Google Images. Make it this easy for me. Oh, there it is. Okay. There it is. Just compare what you see Gallagher doing in that picture. I'm going to hold them. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to screenshot this right here. Okay. And I'm going to compare it. Actually, we'll go with this. We'll do this. This is a better screenshot. Okay. Boom. Come on. And then boom. I'm going to put these two pictures next to each other so we can see how absurd and ridiculous this whole shindig is. All right. I am going to put these next to each other so you can see. This will be a good visual. All right, let's check this out. Compare and contrast. Boom. All right, look what I just made. So the thing on the right, this was not seen by his leaf blower. He missed that. This fucking gigantic pieces of red taillight missed it all. This, he sees no problem. Like, does anyone believe that? Just show them this. Just show the jury this. This was found, but that one wasn't. Done. That's the picture right there. That's the image. Just fucking put it on the big screen at the end there. Does anyone believe that this tail light was there and this mofo missed it? I would refer to Gallagher as our star witness. Our star witness, Mofo Gallagher, King Mofo. You know, he told you. He told you about his little leaf blower there. It doesn't miss a thing.
Thank you. If you could put it back in the bag, back in the box, please.
Okay, let's see what else I got for timestamps.
Lieutenant Gallagher, does that appear to be the same item that you found in the area where John O'Keefe was at Fairview that morning?
Yes, it does.
I'd like to have the box and the item marked for identification, please.
Okay.
Hold on.
The cube ready? Thank you.
Hold on.
When you were looking around the area that was pointed out to you as where John O'Keefe was found, did you expand across the front lawn into the street during your search?
No, we didn't, with the exception of uncovering the 6-foot asphalt berm.
Did you say 6
Oh,
foot?
the asphalt. Okay, here we go.
What's a berm?
It's basically a curb.
It's a curb. It's a curb.
It's curved. You probably have seen it. It's asphalt. It's curved. It separates the street from property line.
It's a curb.
That piece.
Wanted to see. We're trying to find out why John was having a medical issue, and we didn't know if he could have tripped over a curbing or what turned out to be an asphalt berm. And possibly.
I love how they bring up the curbing, the berm, because that happens to be exactly where the shoe was found. So you looked in the exact place where the shoe was found, and you didn't find a shoe.
His head.
After you made efforts to look in that area, did you return to the Canton Police Department?
I did.
About what time?
It was
All right.
shortly after 8 a.m.
Next timestamp.
After you returned to the Canton Police Department, did you?
Homeowner, and
What was that decision?
that we should recuse ourselves from any further.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we
And why
go.
was that?
Because our best detective, his name was 𝗵𝗲𝗆𝗆, and he was the brother of the homeowner, and I didn't want any potential bias, whether unconscious or subjective, to be.
Do they have rankings in the Canton Police Department? He's our best #1 draft pick, 𝗵𝗵𝗆𝗆, our #1 guy. He likes to get hammered down the Cape with Proctor. He's the #1 guy. Oh my God. Perfect. perfect that he called him that. He actually said that we recuse ourselves because our top guy, our number one guy, was involved
by the O'Keefe family.
Yeah,
So
we
when the state police got involved and you had the conversation.
and I love how they're like, you know, we can't have Kevin out. Gallagher can't be on it because he's on the same police department as Kevin Albert. Kevin Albert wouldn't even be the lead detective, but he's on the same police department as Kevin Albert. So we're just going to recuse ourselves. And you know who we're going to have investigated and said? Michael Proctor, who's known them for decades and calls them a second family. Yeah, let's have him do it. That's conflict free that way.
The chief, was that the end of your efforts towards this?
It was the end of our efforts until, I helped facilitate during the search warrant on February 1st.
And so at some point was the
All right.
Very familiar with that, yes.
preserving the scene.
All right.
His best efforts, his best practices to make sure that.
So then Alan's cross-examination of him, I listened to the whole thing again today. Yesterday was kind of an event, like wasn't that interesting. It was all about like solo cups and all this shit. And to me, again, I don't give a shit about the solo cups because nothing in the solo cups is important. Nothing in the solo cups was used to is being used to convict Karen Reed. Like it's stupid. Like who cares if it's contaminated? All it does is kind of point out how these guys are Keystone cops, which kind of backfires because you don't want these guys to be Keystone cops. You want them to be good, legitimate cops that, they did everything except for, as far as looking for taillight. I mean, that's the thing. Remember what Ronnie told me? He told me that they just assumed that the Canton police were like incompetent. No, we don't want that. All right, next timestamp I have here, 7:07. Let's see.
I asked for plastic or glass containers. He had solo cups, and I utilized them.
The same kind of solo cups that we all see at backyard barbecues.
Yep, they hold liquid terrifically.
They hold liquid. What a fucking line that was. Put that on a t-shirt. Just look at the Gallagher face too. Welp. They hold liquid terrifically. Can we play that one more time?
I asked for plastic or glass containers. He had solo cups, and I utilized them.
The same kind of solo cups that we all see at backyard barbecues.
Yep, they hold liquid terrifically.
They hold liquid terrifically as opposed to a different kind of cup. Doesn't hold, like, does a glass cup, does a more stable cup not hold? At least get a Stanley. It's got a top to it. Get something. It holds liquid terrifically. This guy should sell red Solo cups and leaf blowers. He should sell them both. It holds liquid terrifically. It's like something Brick Tamlin would say. Yes, it holds liquid terrifically. Okay. All right. So let's go to today's resumed testimony. And it started off with a bang. AJ took my advice on how to go at this mofo.
Ask you a quick question about what we talked about yesterday concerning your search at the scene. If we could go back to that, when you engaged the leaf blower. During the time that you were removing materials in and around the area of the flagpole going out to the, I think you called it the berm, B-E-R-M, the berm, the curb.
Yes, that was at the street. There was a 6-inch Cape Cod berm. Yes.
Okay, and that led straight to the asphalt of the street, correct?
It's basically a curbing. It's
okay.
Where the property line, the grass, the lawn meets the street.
And you were searching the area where you believed Mr. O'Keefe's body to have been found, all the way out toward that curb or berm area, correct?
Yeah, we did not go out to the berm. We did about approximately 6 by 6, 7 by 7, about 50 square feet.
50 square feet. Okay, fair enough. But you did say at some point, I think on direct examination, you said that you exposed the berm just to give you some orientation as to where the curb was, where the street was.
And if it was possible, he may have tripped and fallen. Yes.
Okay. You did not recover or see a hat, a man's hat?
Nope.
No, sir.
Black in color, like baseball style hat?
No hat. No, sir.
You did not see or recover a man's shoe?
Nope.
No, sir.
No, sir.
And you said you searched for the area in that 50 square foot area by removing materials, moving the snow, getting down to all the way down to the lawn.
Yes.
Okay. You did not see a single piece of bright red plastic taillight material either, did you?
No, sir. Not in that area.
As a matter of fact, you didn't see.
Not in that area. Well, is he trying to leave the door open to like, oh, it's in another area? But that's the area where Proctor claims he found all the taillight. It's like the same fucking area. So
6 pieces of taillight material, either clear or bright red plastic, in any part of the area that you searched?
No, the only thing we discovered was the blood sampling in the glass. That is correct.
Speaking of the glass, that's a good segue. You found that piece of broken drinking glass that you brought in and showed the jurors yesterday, correct?
That's correct.
Did you search the house at all to determine whether or not there was any matching glass in the home?
No, I did not.
Nah, fuck it. Yeah, he's so confident in
testified
everything he
yesterday
says.
that you looked around, that when you were in the house, this is the second time you're at the location. So you went back with Sergeant Lank. I want to orient you to that time. That's when you actually entered the home for the first time of Brian Albert. Is that right?
That is correct. Yes,
And
sir.
you indicated that you didn't look around the family room, kitchen, and you didn't see any signs of a struggle or anything like that.
No, sir.
I asked you that exact question about a year ago at another proceeding. Do you recall that colloquy between the two of us?
Any sign of a struggle? I believe you asked me if I went to, asked me about a bulkhead and things of that nature.
With regard to anything like that?
Absolutely not. No.
You didn't look at the glassware?
Absolutely not. No.
You didn't go down to the basement? We talked about that previously?
Correct. No, absolutely not.
Okay. You didn't go out to the garage?
No, sir. No.
You didn't look
The
around
garage. The garage again.
Other than walking in and basically where you just described standing while Sergeant Lank was engaged with Miss McCabe, you didn't do anything to search the interior of that house for anything?
No, I wasn't there to search at all.
Okay. You also didn't, subsequent to that, you didn't seek or receive
Here
a
we
search
go.
warrant?
This is where.
No, I did not.
Okay.
No, I'm
You
not.
didn't believe that it was necessary, in your mind, it was necessary to seek a search warrant to search the interior of that house?
That's absolutely correct.
That's absolutely correct.
You were aware at the time that you did go into the house that Sergeant Lank had earlier reported at least the possibility that John O'Keefe may have gotten into a fight, correct?
I don't recall that. We went over options on how he could have come to where he was, and an altercation certainly was one of them.
Okay, so that's fair enough. So an altercation meaning was one of the, when you say altercation, that means a physical fight, correct?
Sure.
So that was a possibility in your mind.
Everything was a possibility at that time.
And at that time, you had the information that you found, or Mr. O'Keefe's body was found on the lawn of a residence where there was alcohol, drinking, a party of some sort, or a gathering of some sort, just hours earlier, correct?
That's correct, but the house had nothing to do with the incident.
To your mind.
How does he know? How does he know that the house had nothing to do with the incident? He just said anything could have happened 5 seconds ago. Anything's a possibility except for the house. The house, nothing could have happened in the house at all. He's cracked the case in 5 seconds. It's over.
That's correct, based on the evidence, yes, at that time.
And the evidence at that time was simply your communications with some, but not all, the occupants of the house, including Jennifer McCabe, correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
At the time, no taillight was found. He did not hear Karen Reed say, I hit him, I hit him, I hit him. That's it. That's the evidence. That's the totality. And there's a cocktail glass there that's broken. There's a house right there. And I think the cocktail glass is more likely to come from the house than the dude stole it from a bar. Right? I don't know. I feel like that might be more likely than the alternative. He's got no shoe on. It's January. Probably should have shoes on. He's very lightly dressed. You know, something might, I don't know. Something might be going on here. You might want to look into the house, pal. He could be a cartoon character. I know.
You didn't
look at him. Look at
any of the witnesses,
the
that
face
were
he
any of the
makes.
occupants that you saw inside the house, or you came across inside the house, for instance, by taking them to the station, putting them in separate rooms so that they couldn't coordinate testimony, things of that nature?
At
Nah,
that time?
fuck it.
So Detective Sergeant Lank was there to speak with Jennifer McCabe only.
Okay. But there were others in the house.
There were others in the house, yes.
I'm just trying to figure out whether or not you took the added step of separating those witnesses, asking those witnesses potentially to join you down at the station, putting them in separate rooms, separating those witnesses. You did not do that.
Not at that time, no.
Okay. At any time, did you?
No, we shortly thereafter, we were removed from the investigation.
All right, so we're out of here. Next timestamp.
And ultimately secured some solo cups from Deputy Chief Gallagher across the street, correct?
That is correct, yes, sir.
You were aware at the time that Deputy Chief Gallagher's house was adorned with a Ring video camera just over the front door, facing out toward the street and facing across the street, which would be facing 34 Fairview, correct?
That is incorrect. He does not have a Ring camera.
What?
I know that his system is an Arlo camera.
Oh,
I
you're
have personal
being
knowledge of that because we've discussed cameras because we bought them approximately the same time.
My mistake. Arlo camera, ARLO.
I believe so. Yes.
Okay, that's still.
First of all, I love this. He's got like, yeah, me and Kelleher, we sit around, we discuss our cameras. We're that tight. First of all, how boring is your life that this is what you sit around and, talk to your boys about? Oh, so I got the Arlo camera. Oh yeah. Well, way better than the Ring. Oh yeah. You got to get the Arlo. I don't even know what the fucking Arlo is. I guess they want to save money. So he's like very confident. He's just so confident. No, like there couldn't be anything on that camera. I didn't even need to look at it.
Although it's a different brand, it's still a home personal surveillance camera, correct?
Yes, but
And you're aware that those are motion activated cameras designed for security to capture images of things that may be going on outside the home.
Right.
that's correct. Yes, sir.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Briefly.
Thank you.
Mr. Gallagher, would you take a look at that photograph that I just handed you?
Yes,
What's it marked for ID?
It is marked for ID, and Ms. Gallagher, if you could read that for me, so save me a trip up to the stand.
I believe it's a 5, Exhibit 5.
Could be an S.
It could be an S. Yes,
I think it's S, Your Honor.
I apologize.
It is S. Okay, thanks. Thank you, Mr. Gallagher. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph?
I recognize the camera in the door.
Okay. Is that a shot of Deputy Chief Gallagher's? Sorry.
That's okay. I know what you're asking.
Is this a shot of Deputy Chief 𝗪𝗂𝗪's front porch?
It appears to be.
Okay. Does that front porch face 34 Fairview?
We need a time frame.
I'm sorry, Your Honor?
We need a time frame.
Sure. Did you see that Arlo camera so situated when you went over there on January 29th?
So before we listen to this mofo lie, let's watch my investigative journalism to see what it actually would have looked like. Oops, wrong one. So here I am at Gallagher's house, 31 Fairview Road, and I go and do my own investigation. So there's his camera.
Again, look at that angle right there.
So this is where the 62-foot mark is, like right here. This is where John's final resting place was. And they said I measured 62 feet from here, and it took me like halfway across the Asian house to like right here. And so it would have been right in front of Gallagher's house, like right there.
Does it not pick it up? That's where the body was shot. It's the perfect angle. They have wide lenses too. I mean, look at that right there. That wouldn't pick it up.
That would, like, that's what?
Look at that.
Of course it would. It's pointing right at
I
it.
mean, there's a car in the driveway, right? Someone's got to be home.
Is this witness intimidation?
It's right there. I can even put my camera up there. Yeah.
I mean, this is journalism, folks. This is me going out, pounding the pavement, award-winning journalism that no one else is doing. It's right there. And this is what they want to call, if I did this today, they would call it witness intimidation. This was back before everything I did was witness intimidation. This is when this was called journalism. And then they're like, actually, let's just call it witness intimidation instead. Okay.
But that's the view it would have gotten.
Like right here. So this is where it would have been parked, like right here.
That's the exact view. Wow. It's right there. Okay.
So then we go to the neighbor's house too.
One.
And they got a ring. They got a ring camera.
Huh? This is your neighbor's house, right?
This is 33 Fairview.
And that is the view that their ring camera would have.
And that's what it would have picked up. It would have got John running into the fucking house. It would have got it all. Are you kidding me?
They would certainly have if John went into the house. Because Karen dropped him right off in that driveway.
Hey, that shit.
I'm trying to get justice for John O'Keefe. He's hearing this right now, but go to 34 Fairview. So again, this is Karen.
Yeah, anyway. And again, John would have run.
Pulls in from Cedar Crest over there.
All right, anyway. So that's that.
He had obtained the names. He hadn't written the report yet.
What?
I don't recall.
What the heck? Oh, all right, cool. I don't know where Runkle came from there, but okay. Next up.
2022.
I knew it was there, yes.
Okay. And is that a fair representation of what the camera looked like and its positioning? Basically, its positioning in January of 2022.
Yes.
Okay. Did you seek the footage?
No, I didn't. I know what that camera captures.
I know. How do you know?
When we publish, actually, I'd like to mark this.
How does he's so arrogant and just never wrong. I know what I know what the camera captures. I know what it captures. Do you? How do you know what it captures? Have you looked at it? How do you know what it captures? I can't believe he said that.
As evidence, next in order.
Okay.
I may approach.
Yes.
And remember, 𝗪𝗪𝗂𝗪 in his podcast that no one listened to, which isn't even in the top 200 true crime. No one's listening to it at all. Complete failure. Said that, well, they didn't pull that footage because it's it doesn't, ring cameras don't pick up stuff from like more than 30 feet away, which is untrue. Okay, he doesn't have a ring camera. So now what you got? Now what you got?
53.
This got to, as this is being the photograph that you just saw, exhibit 53.
That is correct.
Okay, I'm going to draw your attention. And by the way, there's one amendment to this photograph.
Did they get this from me? Is this from my footage?
There's a redaction of the address. You see that?
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to draw your attention to that area right there, which
Yes.
I'm highlighting.
Yes.
What is that?
That is the Arlo camera.
Can you orient the jurors for us, please, to what we're looking at in this photograph?
You're looking at a camera that's angled downward.
And is it the front porch of that residence directly across the street from 34 Fairview?
It is not directly across from 34. It's actually more directly across from 32, so that would be incorrect.
Okay. Is
Oh.
it across the street from 34 generally?
I like how he's like, it's directly across from 32. Even better, because that's where y'all put him. Her. You put Karen in front of 32 Fairview by your 62 feet bullshit. That's where you put it. You said that John O'Keefe stood there by the fire hydrant like a bozo with his arm out hitchhiking, and Karen Reed pulled up 62 feet in front of the Asian house, put it in neutral for some reason, and then gunned it in reverse and just hit him in the arm. Are you fucking kidding me?
It is, if Lieutenant Gallagher's house is here, 34 is over here across the street.
Okay. Is there a view from that front porch, just generally as you're standing there, if you were to turn 180 degrees and put your back to the door, is there a view of 34 Fairview as well as 32 Fairview?
Oh, sure, absolutely.
Okay. Did you seek, and we can take this down. Did you seek to secure any footage from that Arlo camera from Deputy Chief Kelleher?
I did not.
Did you talk to Deputy Chief Kelleher about that footage?
I don't remember specifically.
Did you ask him whether or not he'd reviewed the footage for a determination whether or not it caught any of the incident that may have occurred at or around 34 Fairview on January 29th, the early morning hours of January 29th?
I don't know if I did. I know it would not have.
How do you know it would not have?
Because I know what that camera captures.
How do you know what that camera captures?
Because I've picked up packages for Deputy Chief Kelleher in the past. I know it captures his doorstep and a portion of the front lawn.
Wait, how do you... I picked up packages for him? And did you view his footage? I don't get what he's saying. What did he say?
Did I know
he'd reviewed the footage for a determination whether or not a camera from Deputy Chief Kelleher?
I did not.
Did you talk to Deputy Chief Kelleher about that footage?
I don't remember specifically.
Did you ask him whether or not he'd reviewed the footage for a determination whether or not it caught any of the incident that may have occurred at or around 34 Fairview on January 29th, the early morning hours of January 29th?
I don't know if I did. I know it would not have.
How do you know it would not have?
Because I know what that camera captures.
How do you know what that camera captures?
Because I've picked up packages for Deputy Chief Kelleher in the
So
past.
what?
I know it captures his doorstep and a portion of the front lawn.
So you've reviewed the Arlo footage from his iPhone?
He's just sent me a picture. Can I pick up when he's been on vacation? Can I pick up a package on the front step?
Okay.
Yes, I've seen it.
So you've seen screenshots. that
Sure.
Deputy Chief
Oh,
Kelleher
a
sent you, correct?
screenshot.
I believe so, yes.
But you've never looked at the actual application to see what it might encapsulate or what it might capture generally.
We've compared what we have our cameras set up as. We communicate.
Why not
communicate
ask anyway? Exactly. Although it's not really his job to ask. It's Michael Proctor's job to ask because he's the investigator an hour into this thing. Right? This guy's no longer in charge an hour into it. Like, so why did Michael Proctor ask him? It's potentially you have the whole thing on Ring camera or video. Like you have the whole thing. It's case closed, right? And nobody asked this guy for it because they're just like, yeah, nah. I picked up a package one time. I didn't see it. That's the end of that. I mean,
about security out of houses multiple times. I know it captured the front door and a portion of the front lawn.
Do you believe that it would have been best practices to go ahead and secure that footage so we don't have to take anybody's word for it?
Yes.
We could actually look at the footage ourselves.
I didn't do that.
Do you think that would have been best practices to do that? Just
No,
to have
let me
public
guess.
assessment?
No.
So there's no question
No.
about whether or not that camera that's facing, at least it's facing directly across the street, might have captured something of interest on the morning of January 29th, 2022.
To me, there was no expectation that it had captured anything, so I didn't think it was practical.
So because of your expectation, you didn't seek the footage and you didn't secure the footage.
Because of my knowledge and expectation, yes.
My
And you now know that
knowledge?
That footage is gone. So,
I would assume so. I'm not familiar with how long Arlo keeps footage.
so you are familiar
Oh my
enough
God.
that you decided that it wasn't important to capture the footage, but you're not familiar enough to know whether or not the footage is actually saved onto the Arlo system?
I don't know anything about. I don't have Arlo cameras. So I don't know anything about
So
the
you don't-
system, but I have Blink, so we've compared our systems.
Oh my God.
I'm not really sure what you're asking.
So you don't have an Arlo system.
I have Blink, correct?
These guys sit around comparing their systems together. This is how boring their life is.
You're not familiar with how Arlo works, correct?
Correct.
You're not familiar with the total array of where the cameras might capture versus that you can say, like, push a button that says packages or people, and it narrows the focus of the camera. You're not aware of that?
I'm not aware of that, no.
Okay. But you would have been aware of that if you had captured the footage and simply said to Deputy Chief 𝗪𝗪, I'd like that ring footage for that 24-hour period.
Okay, it's not ring.
I'm sorry.
Oh
that
my
Arlo
God.
Footage for a 24-hour period.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Did Deputy Chief 𝗪𝗪 get any special treatment from you because he's a police officer?
No,
Did Deputy Chief
no,
𝗪𝗪 get any special treatment from you because he was your boss?
No, absolutely not.
no,
Okay.
no. Definitely not.
You know Brian Higgins.
I do.
How do you know him?
I didn't know these two were buddies too. He's like friends with Higgins too. Of course he is. So he gets into that a little bit. We're going to skip to the next part here. 102.34.
That is correct, yes.
Thank you. Oh, by the way, can I go back to something?
Sure.
When you were at 34 Fairview, when you walked in with Sergeant Lank, you walked in through the side door or the main door?
Side door.
Side door into the family room, correct?
I believe it's a family room, yes.
Walked into the kitchen, correct?
I was by the kitchen.
Adjacent to the
Yep.
kitchen. Did you see a dog?
I did not.
I love that. I love that. I do love this. I don't remember them doing this last trial. They're asking every person, did you see a dog when you went in there? No, nobody saw a freaking dog at all. The dog's gone by the morning. The dog's out of there. Dog's evidence. All right, next one.
55. Securing evidence, correct?
This was in the hands of a criminalist. It was an exchange of custody. I don't have any issue with it.
You don't know, you have no personal knowledge of where that bag had been or where the cups had been previous to that photograph being taken.
Correct.
You will agree that having unsealed and unsecured blood right next to the right rear of the SUV is a recipe for cross-contamination, wouldn't you?
Not in the hands of a trained criminalist, I wouldn't know.
Well, generally speaking, there were other people there that weren't the trained criminals, right?
There was a photographer who took the pictures.
Who's not a trained criminalist.
Correct. But the cuts weren't in his hands. It was in the criminalist's hands. Those are the criminalist's hands you see gloved in that photo.
That's not my question. My question is, there was unsealed blood and in an unsealed bag for how much time, you don't know.
So again, I've talked about this before. My issue with this is like, who cares? But I mean, it makes them look like Keystone cops, but ultimately it doesn't matter if the blood's not secure. Like nothing in those solo cups was used to hurt Karen Reed. So it doesn't really matter. All right, next up.
Capture the street.
You said that's a very busy street. Are you familiar with
Activated cameras and.
In your mind, why didn't you go seek footage from that camera?
In my mind?
Yes.
Because I knew it when it captured it.
Why is this paused? Why is it paused like that? We got the audio. We're just going to keep his face. That's the perfect face.
Anything. Activated cameras, and he didn't have them on the street because it's a busy street and the batteries would die, and who knows, very quickly if they captured the street.
You said that's a very busy street. Are you familiar with Fairview Road?
Yes.
Is that a road? Is that a public road?
It's a public way in the town of Canton, yes.
As a public way in the town of Canton, do you know who operates and cleans and monitors that road? Who's responsible for that?
Yes, the Department of Public Works for the town of Canton.
You were asked about a claim of a fight. Did any witness ever suggest to you that Mr. O'Keefe had been in a fight?
No.
When you first learned about Mr. O'Keefe, did you get a chance to actually look at his body?
No, I did not.
Did you get a chance to look at his wounds?
No, I did not.
Did you get a chance to examine his clothing and whether there was any trace evidence left behind?
I'll allow it.
No, I did not.
So then how did you know he wasn't beaten up?
They were characterized as witnesses. Did you have any information that anybody inside that home was a witness to what happened to Mr. O'Keefe?
No.
Did you have any information when you made these decisions about search warrants? Did you have any information from anybody, anywhere, that Mr. O'Keefe ever stepped 1 foot inside that home?
I'm going to allow it. Briefly, can we turn the lights on, Mr. Brennan?
If
Yes,
any,
Take that down.
who cares? Does he have evidence that John O'Keefe stepped inside that home? Yeah, a little bit. Like he's got one shoe on and there's a broken cocktail glass next to him. Might have come from inside the house. He doesn't have proof, but there's some suspicious things that looks like this guy was recently indoors somewhere, apparently, All right, next up, 131.
Yes.
Did anybody
The hell was that?
Did anybody prevent you from coming in?
No, not
Did
at all.
anybody ever ask you to leave?
No, not at all.
When you spoke to Mr. Albert, did he ever discontinue or end the conversation?
No.
Were you doing any favors for anybody that morning?
No, of course not.
If you had probable cause to search anywhere
There we go.
that morning, would you have?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You were asked questions about memorializing
We're going to get
your
to that.
efforts when you were in the area of Mr. O'Keefe's body. And you were asked about written reports. Are there other ways to
All right,
memorialize?
so let's jump to the recross here. Let's go to 137. Yeah.
And say, there, you're shaking your head again. I'm not done with my question. Might have been a good idea, Mr. Gallagher, since you happen to be there, no sweat off your brow, to sit Mr. Albert down and say, by the way, I got a pen and paper. Who was here last night, just before John O'Keefe was found dead on your lawn? Who was here? Might be a good idea, correct?
So that was already done by Detective Sergeant Lank, and it was documented in his report of everybody of what Mr. Jackson is asking.
Then how did you two not know that Brian Higgins was there?
I don't know where. I'm confused. At what time?
Right.
What time?
Exactly.
At what time?
When John O'Keefe arrived.
Okay.
At Fairview, after midnight on January 29th, 2022.
So when I discovered Brian Higgins was there, wasn't until I read the report.
Actually,
He didn't end any interview because he wasn't interviewed, correct?
That is correct.
You didn't interview Brian Higgins.
That is correct.
You wouldn't interview Brian Higgins because he's your personal friend, correct?
Correct.
But you didn't have anybody else interview him either, did you?
Again, we're talking, I think we've gone over this and maybe you didn't understand. I didn't know Brian Higgins was at the house at that time.
Because you didn't ask anybody else who was at the house at that time. And again, I'm not dead on. Did you two standing in the house, Sergeant Blank, who you just told these jurors knew that Brian Higgins and everybody else was there?
He had obtained the names. He hadn't written the report yet.
The house, correct?
Absolutely
We
correct.
just talked about that. You didn't seek consent while you were spitballing. You also didn't secure the camera footage that we've talked about, the Arlo footage.
Yes, that's correct.
You also didn't formally search the house, correct?
Absolutely
We
correct.
just talked about that. You didn't seek consent,
Absolutely.
pardon me, by Brian Albert to search the house, correct?
That's correct.
You also didn't seek a search warrant. We talked about that, correct? You don't get punished or in trouble if you seek a search warrant and a judge who
Exactly.
has to sign the search warrant.
Exactly.
Normal citizens can't do that. It requires a judge's signature. You don't get in trouble or get spanked or get slapped or get fined if you seek a search warrant that is denied, correct?
In this particular situation, I would need to articulate facts, certain circumstances, and witness statements. What I had was nobody could put John O'Keefe in the house, including Miss Reed,
What?
and that we had a glass where they were coming from a bar, and I had 3 separate police officers, including myself.
How did they know the glass was from the bar? How did they figure that out so fast? How did you know that doesn't match something inside the house?
That had been in that house on 3 separate occasions and saw nothing amiss. I have a good faith obligation to present the truth to a judge. And if I don't, I can be found, end up on a Brady list or a Giglio list, as you know. And my credibility to testify in my career is basically over. So yes, you can get in trouble.
You're talking about lying in an affidavit, sir.
Exactly. Like if you lie in an affidavit, then yeah. Okay, so I know from personal experience this is bullshit. I'm going to show you why. I'm going to show you the search warrant to search my house because that exists. All right. So this is Tully's search warrant. He got a search warrant for this one is for my house. This one is for my car. And this one is for all of my phones. And the phones are any mobile device reasonably used by Aidan Kearney to illegally intercept oral communications, conspire, disseminate the illegally obtained communication, and intimidate witnesses. So there's going to be like evidence of witness intimidation on my phone, they think. So let me let's see. Can I make this bigger? All right. I don't know if you guys can see this. So this is the one from my house. All right, let's see what the reasoning is. Single family residence. Why does he get to search my house? Okay, so this is all the stuff they're looking for. Okay. This is Brian Tully's affidavit that he wrote on the goddamn thing. I don't know if you guys can see that or if it's too small. But, okay, he wants to analyze all the stuff. I'm an expert, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I want to look at his stuff. Okay. Elizabeth Proctor's okay, so picketing a witness. So he lists all my charges here. He did this, he did that. He was mean to the McAlberts, blah, blah, blah. He posted articles. All right. He went on YouTube and he quotes me. We've been over my charges before. They're fucking retarded, etc. So he goes over all that. Now, what does any of this have to do with searching my goddamn house? What is this a picture of? These are the goddamn, this is the rolling rally, the real dangerous rolling rally where no one goes on his friggin' property. All right. Conspiracy to intimidate a witness. Okay. Yeah. All right. He's intimidating witnesses. So why do you get to search my house for this? Like, what does my house have to do with any of this? You'll see. You'll see. So, by the way, violation. They also had me on. They thought I wired. They wanted to get me on wiretapping too. They didn't charge me with wiretapping. But evidence of such crimes will be found on mobile or electronic devices used by Kearney to communicate, harass, intimidate, and receive information. And, okay, so what evidence do they have? What is the probable cause to assume that there is evidence of wiretapping inside my house? This is their evidence. On July 25th, 2023, the Commonwealth versus Karen Reed was called in Norfolk Superior Court for oral arguments on motions. Inside the courthouse, there's a sign that says use of any camera is prohibited inside a courthouse. Okay. Covert photography, recording, or transmission is prohibited. Okay. Additional signs in the hallways of the courthouse state that no video or audio recordings are allowed in the courthouse without prior approval. Okay. Fine. On the morning of July 25th, Kearney posted a blog on his website stating he will be live streaming from a protest in front of the courthouse. The post goes on to state, I don't get much service in the courtroom and YouTube can sometimes be screwy. He was seated in the public gallery prior to the start of the hearing. He was present, announcements were made, okay, blah, blah, blah. I attended the hearing with John Fanning and 𝗵𝗂𝗺. We were not in uniform and dressed in a suit. We were not present as witnesses. During the hearing, the court took a 15-minute recess. During the break, Sergeant 𝗵𝗂𝗺 left the courtroom to a basement men's room. I observed Kearney leave the courtroom behind 𝗵𝗂𝗺. The basement men's room in the Norfolk Superior Courthouse is a small bathroom with 3 stalls and 3 urinals. It's got a shower too. I will shower there someday. No barriers separate the urinals. The bathroom is not a public space. Okay. It is though, but all right. Sergeant 𝗵𝗂𝗺 stated he was in the basement men's restroom using a urinal when Kearney entered the restroom, stood next to him at an adjacent urinal, and began to ask him a series of questions regarding the alleged police misconduct. I did. I stood next to him and I asked him some questions and he didn't answer. But I didn't film it. Okay. On the same date at 8:10 p.m., Kearney posted a video on his Twitter account capturing a portion of the interaction. The 12-second video appears to be from a cell phone held in front of Kearney's body at approximately chest height. It was on top of the urinal. I recognize the room to be the basement men's room of the courthouse, and Kearney's clothing matches what I observed wearing the courthouse. Okay. The frame of the video only shows Kearney with the wall and ceiling behind him. In the video, Kearney states, so do you think Michael Proctor planted that evidence? Seriously? It's just me and you in here. Below is the Twitter post with the video attached. So after 𝗵𝗂𝗺 got there before me, and then I asked him some questions he didn't answer. But I'm not going to film right in front of him. Like the thing is, like, I did not film when he was there. He leaves and I'm going and I put the fucking camera up and then I do a thing where I pretend he's there. I'm alone. I am completely alone. There's no other sounds on the video. It's just me. I'm doing an act here. And I'm like, it's just me and you here, something like that. Well, he says this is wiretapping because he goes on to say, Sergeant 𝗵𝗂𝗺 stated Kearney did not advise him he was recording the interaction. In previous posts and on YouTube, he can be seen calling people on the phone while on speakerphone and the audio was recorded. In those phone calls, he advised the other parties that the conversation was being recorded. This advisement was given in a video posted on Kearney's YouTube page entitled Norfolk Superior Court Gives Me the Runaround. A request was made. So basically he's saying there that I know better. I know to advise people when they're being recorded, except I didn't record anyone. I was alone. Wiretapping requires audio interception. It's not wiretapping if there's no audio interception. You don't hear 𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗃𝗏𝗃 because he's not there. Like if his voice was there, then I guess you would have me dead to rights. But he's not there. So what the fuck? So they go and get the footage. So then they got, okay, so here's 𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗃𝗏𝗃 going downstairs to take a leak. Okay, there he is. And then 30 seconds later, oh, there I am with my How Long to Die in Cold shirt. As Kearney was walking down the stairs, a cell phone with an illuminated screen is observed in his left hand, which he keeps in his hands as he enters the stairways to the basement. Ooh. Okay. And there's 𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗃𝗏𝗃 going back with the 𝗃𝗏𝗧𝗃𝗏𝗃 shoes, followed by yours truly. Okay. And then he says, based on all of this, there is probable cause that Aidan Kearney committed a violation of wiretapping, which states that anyone who willfully commits an interception or procures another person to commit an interception is guilty of wiretapping. So then he goes on to say, additionally, based upon the foregoing facts, there is probable cause to believe that Aidan Kearney committed a violation of the wiretapping statute. What? Based upon my training experience, I know that today's computers are capable of conducting internet searches. Oof, nothing gets by him. Storing large amounts of data, editing video, blah, blah, blah. During the YouTube videos above, Kearney is seen in the center of the screen. So here we go. This is how they know. This is, so I'm like, so how, I still don't get how any of this is probable cause to search my fucking house. We're talking about, I'm in Dedham. I'm at a courthouse in Dedham, and somehow this is probable cause to search my house. What? He's going to get to that. During the YouTube videos above, referenced as episode whatever, Kearney is seen in the center of the screen. The camera appears to be in a fixed position. The location from where the episode video occurs has the same setup in the background, microphone, and what appears to be a green screen behind him, which allows him to place a different background on the video feed. During the video, graphics appear overlaid on the video, including comments submitted by viewers and logos. Kearney frequently imposes and they got a screenshot of me with my Journalism Jesus shirt on there, a portion of the video, so he shows what I look like on there. I mean, this is a fucking search warrant. This is how, this is the, they're willing to put this much fucking work into me. All this work into me. I don't have a dead body on my front lawn. Through training experience, I know to accomplish the screen sharing, this material, the use of one or more multiple computers is needed. During these broadcasts, he will often play videos and post pictures from incidents he recorded while harassing and intimidating witnesses, such as his confrontation with Jennifer McCabe at a 𝗵𝗺𝗃𝗃 lacrosse game. Video footage and photographs can be uploaded and archived on computers and disseminated on social media. Given Kearney runs social media pages, YouTube accounts, and a website, his use of quick access to historical content is important. It is reasonable to believe he stores this media for future use in his business. What? In order to coordinate the rolling rally, he needed to communicate location and time for people in order to pick it. He received privileged information from Janelle Webb on a messaging application commonly used on mobile phones. So that's why they want my phone, is because I messaged Janelle Webb on Facebook. But question, what if I was logged into like my mom's Facebook account on my phone? Nothing's stopping me from doing that, right? I'm currently logged into like some bullshit accounts right now that I didn't even create. And so like, how can I, what? Like, I feel like there should be a separate warrant to you to go through your social media, because anyone could just log into someone's fucking social media. Anyway, I know from my, I still don't get why they can come in my house. I know from training and experience that computers are powerful devices. Oof, yes, they do. Yes, they do. Nothing gets by him. Files can be copied and moved from one device to another. Oh, yes. Cell phones, tablets, and computers used to access the internet contain names. Oh, yeah. I know from my training and experience that Apple devices signed in under the same Apple ID will share information such as internet searches across those devices. Oh, yeah. Anyway, talks about Bluetooth based on the above. Okay, so based on the above, there is probable cause. So I still don't get why they can come in my house. Based on all of the above, there is probable cause to believe that the data held within computers and digital media storage devices used by Aidan Kearney will contain evidence of illegally intercepted oral communications, witness intimidation, conspiracy, and picketing a witness. The date, but I still don't get why you can come in my home, because the phone leaves my house. So like, and the computer leaves my house. So what is the reason to search the fucking house? Like, that has not been explained yet. He's not done. Probable cause exists that Kearney's computers and digital storage media devices will be inside his house and his Lexus. A check of the registry driver's database shows that he lives in this house. Okay. He's got his license plate there. Okay. A check of the Worcester County Registry of Deeds shows the deed and declaration of homestead for Aidan Kearney. A check of the State Secretary of State Corporations Division reveals no active LLCs registered to Aidan Kearney. He had one until 2020. In addition to the live episode videos, Kearney, I still don't get why they can come in my house. Just because I live there, you can, what? Because again, what is the probable cause that there's evidence of a crime inside my actual house? Like, okay, you want to say that there's evidence of wiretapping in my phone? That's your theory that you're going with? Knock yourself out. But why the house? Like, what? They went through my kids' sock drawers and shit. They went through every drawer in the fucking house. In addition, but he gets to that. Here we go. This is how they get the house. Ready? In addition to the live episode videos, Kearney records and posts on YouTube videos recorded inside of a motor vehicle. Many, if not all, of the videos posted since April where Kearney is inside a motor vehicle, he is the operator with the camera affixed near the dashboard. So that's how they got the probable cause, guys, to search my car, is because I have done live streams in my car before. So therefore, the car becomes a crime scene that they can search. Can you believe this shit? Basically, they're saying that all of my YouTube presentations, as Cosgrove calls them, are crimes. It's all, everything I do on here is witness intimidation. So if I do it in my car, then my car becomes the home of a crime scene. So they get to search my car because I committed witness intimidation inside the car, and there might be more witness intimidation inside the glove compartment. As if witness intimidation is like a bloody knife, something that you can pick up and touch with your fucking hands. Ooh, I found some witness intimidation over here. Ooh, really? Dust that for prints. What? Then he goes, what about the house, though? Why the house? Here we go. In a recent video entitled Heading Home, posted on September 26th, Kearney is seen operating a motor vehicle. This is when I was leaving the Canton Board of Selectmen meeting where I stood next to Chicken Farm Charlie with the sign. Calling him, said Chris Albert killed a man. Okay. Earlier in the evening, Kearney attended and disrupted a Canton Select Board, which was held in the town of Canton. During the heading home video, Kearney states he is traveling on Route 95 north towards Holden. He states, I'm heading home. I'm planning on doing the live show, but I just have to get home. We will be going live when I get home. As soon as I get home, I'll jump on live. See, he keeps saying home. He apologizes for the live show being late and states that he will be uploading the videos soon of his attendance at the select board meeting. He described what occurred in the meeting and then stated, we're going to talk about it when I get home. So the live show is not going to start until 9 o'clock. Usually starts at 9 o'clock. He named the roads he will be traveling to get home. And this is how they got me. Route 95 to 90 to 495 to 290 to Holden. In addition, video is posted on the live YouTube page where Kearney is seen wearing the same red t-shirt as the video in the motor vehicle mentioned, as he did in an impromptu live video on his way home. The microphone, headphones, and green screen background is the same as the other episode. Probable cause, therefore, exists to search his home for computers and digital evidence used by Kearney. Kearney's residence is the base operation of all the content produced for Turtleboy, and all of my content, they say, is witness intimidation. Therefore, it's like ground zero of witness intimidation central. There's a driveway. Google satellite images show this is my favorite. Google satellite images do not show any auxiliary structures on the property where Kearney could record and broadcast his video content. The green screen, microphone, and cameras appear to be too large for a motor vehicle. So he's saying there, he's not doing it in the shed. So the show, you see what I'm saying? The show itself is the crime. That's the probable cause. And since I don't have a shed in my yard and my car isn't big enough to fit a green screen, then the scene of the crime must be my house, because I said on the stream that I'm going home. And then when I got home, I committed a crime because my show is a crime. This is insane. So that's the probable cause, guys, to search my car, my devices. They have 3 warrants here. So that's how a judge signed off on this. Which judge signed this? I don't even know. Doesn't even fucking matter. They're all hacks. When a state police detective goes in front of a judge and says, I have probable cause to search this guy's house, they're signing it. I've never heard of them not signing off on a search warrant. Like, if you can get a probable cause to rip my house apart based on this, based on he said he was going home to do his show, he did his show in his home, like, that's the probable cause to rip my fucking house apart, where my children live, who have nothing to do with my show, that the probable cause to search my house is that. But Paul Gallagher gets up there and says, no, there was no probable cause to search Brian Albert's house, even though there's a fucking dead guy on his lawn who was invited there the night before. That's not probable cause. Are you fucking kidding me? That's somehow not probable cause to search the house. And like, you're not going to find anything in my house besides fucking old phones. In his house, what did they find? What could you find? They might find blood. They might find fucking hairs, DNA. Who the fuck knows? That's why you do the search warrant. So this is just madness, absolute madness. And it's just untrue. And more importantly, if you go in front of a judge and he denies your warrant, which never happens, it never happens, what do you care? Oh, all right, I gave it a shot. You don't get in trouble for that. You don't have to lie. You don't have to lie about what's in your application. Tully didn't even lie. He just told the truth. He's like, he just calls it witness intimidation, but Yeah, like I said those things, but that's not witness intimidation. So you don't have to lie. You just tell what you saw, and if he says no, then the judge says no.
Talking about misleading.
Correct.
I would have to twist circumstances to have the right to search Brian Abbott's house. We had no reason, and there's been no reason since.
How about this? How about this? There's a dead guy on the lawn that looked like he potentially could have been in a physical altercation.
Yeah, that might. How about that?
Might that be of some concern to go inside the house and see if there was a struggle started in the house?
Nah.
There's still no evidence to go into the house.
You're the guy that's out on the lawn with no coat on. You think the coat might be inside the house?
Nah.
Reasonable assumption? Yes or no?
No.
You're the guy outside with no shoe on. You think the shoe might be inside the house? That might be a reasonable assumption?
I never saw Mr. O'Keefe. I wasn't aware that
because you didn't
have
seek
shoes.
to find out the details. Other people knew every single fact that I just suggested at the time you walked in the house, correct?
Sustained.
Why?
The fact is you didn't seek a search warrant.
I wouldn't. Correct.
I
The fact
wouldn't.
is you never searched the house.
That's correct.
The fact is you never searched the basement.
That's correct.
The fact is you never searched the garage.
That's correct.
He's like proud of it.
That's all I have, Your Honor.
I'm all done with this guy. I hope the jury gets it. I do. Again, this is where Michael Easter would have come very much in handy. Very much. All right. All right. Let me read some turtle chats and then we'll move on to the next mofo. All right. All right. Normal Mom Benedictus sends $5 and says, the other morning on your Facebook Live, you mentioned you had a big announcement coming that was about you personally and not related to the case. Can you tell us now or give us a little teaser? I don't have permission to say it now, but teaser. It is a major, major thing for my professional career. And it is an honor and a privilege. And it's going to drive some people crazy. Like it is, they are award-winning journalist is about to take on a whole new meaning, dude. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be, the trolls are going to lose their fucking mind. There's going to be a lot of angry tweets, a lot of attempts to cancel me and cancel the people. Like I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say what's happening. They're going to try fucking hard to cancel the fuck out of this. I mean, when I went on Timcast in 2023, right? January 2023, and this is before I blew up to what I am today, obviously. But I still had the crusty trolls back then. She's been here forever. And I couldn't announce that I was going on Timcast. Timcast is a political YouTube presentation that broadcasts out of this guy's house named Tim Pool in what fucking state were we in? Maryland? It was like where Maryland, Virginia, and West Virginia meet. He's like over there in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I went like I couldn't announce I was going on Timcast. They fly you down there. It's a cool experience. Because I'm like, they're going to try to fucking cancel me. Like they always do this. They always just contact them. Like, look what he said about fucking somebody killing themselves. And here he is talking about making jokes about fucking a dog. And then it's like, I didn't need that. So I announced it at the last minute. They tried to cancel me. It didn't work. Okay. It didn't work. So this newest thing, I can't fuck it up. It's not people saying Rogan. It's not Rogan. It's not like that. It's better. I think. I don't know if anything's better than Rogan, but this is cooler than that. Let's just put it that way. All paid for. It's going to be dope. We'll see. So anyway, next. It's not Rogan. I'm telling you. The documentary we've already announced. The doc's happening. The doc's been greenlit. And I know, like, I'm not saying the streaming service it's going to be on yet until the papers are officially signed, but it's happening. We've already begun filming. We've got major financial backing. Like the guy who's doing it is investing over $1 million of his own money into this project. That's how sure he is it's going to fucking succeed. So it's going to be dope. There's that. All right, next up. April sends $10 and goes, I agree that this trial isn't as entertaining, but nothing can top J.A. saying bukkake. You're right. Nothing will ever top that. Seeing yours and the Glare's reaction, the best moments ever. Love you, Turtleboy, free carrot. Yeah, you know, it's nothing will ever be the first trial. God damn, we just need to get this over with. It's the first trial wasn't as nerve-wracking either, because you were like, no fucking way. You're like, this is going to end in an acquittal so fast. Now it's like, we got to fight for an acquittal. It's like, we got to, obviously she should be acquitted. It's fucking ridiculous we have to do this. But like the whole time you have to be thinking, like, does the jury get this? Like, is this making sense to them? I'm telling you, that interview with Ronnie that's why that interview was so important. Which, by the way, that's award-winning journalism. Like, Ronnie's like famous now. He does the whole tour. Everybody fucking interviews Ronnie. He's like the token juror from there. But I made Ronnie. You know what I mean? Like, I found Ronnie. I tracked him down. I got him on my show first before anyone else. Anyway, next up. Kristen sends $10, goes, I was cracking up when you said that Lalli does the unimportant witnesses because I was thinking the exact same thing. I know. It's like, oh, this must be a boring witness because Lalli's up. Yep, they're letting him play. They would never give Lalli like a real witness. 𝗵𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗂 sends $15, goes, do you think it was a mistake to not bring up Higgins' Jeep during cross yesterday? Nah. Did everything you wanted to come out of McCabe's cross actually come out? Free Karen Reed and free Dr. 𝗃𝗏𝗏. I think so. I can't think of anything they missed with her. So, I mean, it feels like ages ago that she testified anyway. So thanks, 𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗂. $25 from NJ. It says Judge Bev had quite the reaction during pretrial when the defense said they weren't calling the medical examiner. Did she? How will they prove the cause of death without her? They have their own ME, Dr. Isaac Wolf. It's an element to the prosecution that must be vet. They have their own ME. That's the answer to that. 𝗍𝗂𝗍𝗂 Esquire sends $15, goes, same question. So I must have sent it twice. Okay, refresh this. Amy sends 20. No, I already read that one. There will be exciting days to come, especially when Karen's found not guilty. Right. Exactly. Like, that's going to be the excitement. But I just hope people are there. I know the crowds are smaller right now, but during jury deliberations, that's when really everyone should be down there. You want to be down there when the jury announced their fucking verdict, man. You got to be down there for that. Absolutely. Thank you. Next up. Nicole sends $5, goes, I'm speaking it into existence now. Judge Doolin will have all charges dismissed by Friday. I just know that these assholes will freak out when they no longer have any leverage, especially Tully and Craterface. I hope you have a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. Just know your mom is always watching over you. Free Karen Reed and free Dr. Turtleboy. Well, thank you. Yeah, this is my first Mother's Day without my mom. So, but I appreciate that. And, you know, hope she's watching down and proud of her boy there. But she would have loved my son's first communion. Like, she went to church every day, so she would have like lived for that shit. So thank you very much. But I also appreciate, I mean, I'm not jinxing it. You can jinx it. You guys can think that. Did I put a poll up yesterday about whether Judge Doolin is going to drop the charges? I think most people said that they are. Again, I like it. I like what he said there. And the trolls are attacking him now. Some account called, I believe this account, people are saying it's run by Kim Fair, that nut job. So should I bring this up? I should bring this up. Actually, what's this account called? Okay, at Turtleboy Expose. Okay, so let's check this out. This person, because I'm like, I don't really care who troll accounts are. If they get doxxed, they get doxxed. Like, we figure out who they are. But there's just too many crazy people who hate me. But Kim Fair is in the top 5, I think, of just fucking nut jobs. All right. And by the way, I love how they think that Henry Blue is Karen Reed. These is a clear indication of ownership. So these fucking numbnuts are so sure Karen Reed is Henry Blue. Yet she's tweeting at 12:45 while Karen is on camera being streamed inside the fucking courthouse. You have to be fucking next level retarded to think Karen is Henry Blue. Like fucking next level retarded. But anyway, let's see what she did to me. Let's see here. Okay. So my email to Judge Doolin. So this is Kimberly Fair, and we found because she accidentally doxed herself. Is common practice and professional, asking for reconsideration. Why is it so fucking small? That's what she said. Let's bring it up here. So she writes this email to Judge Doolin. And they want to talk about, and this is why she's using a fake name. She wouldn't do this with her real account because she knows this could be, you can't do this to it. Let's see what she says to a judge. I request reconsideration of bail ruling. I am writing to respectfully request that you reconsider your recent ruling regarding the bail of Aidan Kearney. I understand the complexities involved in such decisions, and I have been following the proceedings with considerable attention. As you are aware, Mr. Kearney has appeared before you approximately 4 times concerning the same situation. No, I've only appeared before him once. I've appeared before 4 different judges on bail revocation. It is my understanding, as you are aware, he's repeatedly using that the First Amendment protects his speech, including the word revenge. It's my understanding the legal definition of fighting words, speech likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction, is recognized exception to the First Amendment protection. Okay, but that's not what me saying revenge is not something that's likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction. Okay. And then she cites fucking case law. And this is what they do. The principles of karma and revenge that Attorney Bradel defended Mr. Kearney of saying, while sometimes conflated in public discourse, represent fundamentally different concepts. Okay. Okay, Kim Fair. And then she goes on to say, what else does she go on to say? Hold on, where'd it go? So check this out. This is how she gets caught. This fucking idiot. Imagine this is your life. Imagine I am your life like this, like that your life is so empty that you spend all fucking day doing something like this. Like I just couldn't possibly give a fuck about Kim Fair enough to do this to her. Because I just don't give a fuck about what she does or who, like what? This is what Kim Fair is, some nut job, Jersey, who I wrote about in 2021 and has not gotten over it. She like said some horrific shit to like I think a veteran with like PTSD or some shit like that. She like shit on him. And so I just wrote a blog exposing her as a douchebag. Like it was a pretty standard blog. I've written thousands of articles like that. All right. And she just can't get over it. And now this is her life, is just trolling, is just trying to stop me, I guess, and not working. So she goes on to say, karma, in its essence, speaks to the natural and unforeseen consequences of one's actions. It is a concept of inherent reciprocity, where actions, whether positive or negative, eventually lead to corresponding outcomes. It is not driven by personal animus or a desire for retribution, but rather an intrinsic moral order. Revenge, on the other hand, is typically characterized by a personal desire to inflict, oh my fucking God. Doxing. Oh, furthermore, immediately following the court hearing on April 30th, Kearney engaged in retaliatory actions by creating a live video and doxing my email to thousands of his followers as a direct response to my complaints about his behavior that partially brought this issue to the court's attention. So Kim Fair posted a copy of the email that she sent Judge. She sent an email to, I think it was Cosgrove. showing that, like, so she was like the person that sent him clips and was like, look what he's saying about Tully, lock him up. And Cosgrove's like, right away, Kim Fair, you're my fucking boss. So he writes this goddamn thing, you know, trying to revoke my bail, saying all this shit. And then Kim Fair comes along now and posts her email to Cosgrove showing him this. And then I show the email. I'm like, look at these fucking idiots. And she says that's doxing. Like, this is how fucking, the only Kim Fair could be this fucking retarded. I believe a reconsideration of the bail ruling, taking into account Mr. Kearney's repeated arguments regarding First Amendment protection, satire, blah, blah, blah. Okay. I must inform you that if the current ruling is not reconsidered, or a violation of contempt to the very stipulations you suggested, a judicial filing for investigation into this matter will be prepared. So this is threatening a judge now. This is extorting a judge. A judge has made a decision not to revoke my bail. And Kimberly Fair writes a letter to him, an email to him, saying, you need to reconsider this and put this man in jail, or what? A judicial filing for investigation will be prepared. So she's not going to do that. She's not going to file a judicial complaint against Doolin as long as he puts me in jail. That's also known as extortion, what she's doing. She's trying to extort a judge. Furthermore, like, this investigation will, in part, focus on the court's interpretation and application of the First Amendment protections in this context, particularly concerning the repeated use of language that could be construed as fighting words, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for your time and careful consideration. I trust in your commitment to upholding the principles of justice. So how do we know this is Kim Fair? So she says respectfully and then writes out her fucking name. Actually, can we see what that is if we zoom in? Is this one of these? What the fuck is that? But you see how it says Andy Do Friends? That's her fucking Twitter account. So she signs the document with a link to her real Twitter account, not the Turtleboy exposed one. So she just doxed herself as the person behind the Turtleboy exposed Twitter account. And this is what these people do with their fucking time. This was today. Email sent to a judge. What? Okay. But she wait till you see what else she says about Doolin on here. Let's see. Replies. Okay, making fun of Nate Reed. Okay. I hope he will take another look. He's not going to, but he's been a bit more educated about Aidan, and a judicial complaint can be made about anyone. Okay. Somebody goes, threatening a judge is smart. Threatening law enforcement by burning his home down is legal. This judge said so. So threatening to file a complaint should pass his legal standards. That was wicked smart, Kim. How you said that basically your motivation for doing this is because you're unhappy with the fact that I talked about how I hoped something unfortunate happened to Brian Tully. Therefore, you can threaten a judge. You can extort a fucking judge. I sent an email today, posted on X. Okay, sure thing. And of course, this account is obsessed with Jen Altman, and so is the real Kim Fair. So it's just clearly her. Is she so fucking retarded? She's trying to find out who Joe Flipperhead is. Bad, like wicked bad. There was one other thing on here. I'm slowly putting the pieces together. She's gonna have Joe Flipperhead's address soon, she says. Okay. I need that video for Judge Doolin. And then she encourages people to report my give, send, go. So now this is causing economic harm to a witness in a case because Spanky put me on the witness list. So now I'm a witness. I reported that video because he doxed my email. YouTube said it didn't violate anything. Okay, good. Watch me ride Aidan's ass. He will be in prison one day. Watch us. Right. Goes after Mark Randazza, one of my attorneys, who's doing great work, by the way. Turtles are slow. What? Okay. This is my favorite when 𝗃𝗄𝗄𝗺𝗃 found out and Julie Carpenter found out. Somebody says, folks, Aidan's Kearney, has Aidan's bail been revoked? Keeping an eye on it. This is their life, like me being in jail. And Julie Carpenter, Big Red, says, no, the motion was denied. His bail was not revoked. And 𝗃𝗄𝗄𝗺 says, unbelievable. And Missy Lurch says, it truly is. Like, this is they're so mad I'm not in jail. They're so fucking mad about it. His bail. What's it take to lock him up? If I'm Tully, I'm angry. Judge Doolin took the easy way out. Thanks to the state police colonel and governor, morale in the state police is the pits. They're so fucking mad. They're so mad. They really thought I was going to jail because I said I hoped something happened. Not I'm going to do something, anything. I hope something happened. So anyway, that's that. Anyway, back to the turtle chats. I go on rants here. This is from Melissa, sends $10, goes, the defense is doing great, but a few things I wish they'd call out in real time, like the 911 call being sped up during *𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃's testimony. Was it really? And today, O'Hara looking at his lap during cross, like he was reading notes. I think you're reading too much into that. Thanks, TB, sending support from California. Well, thank you very much, Melissa. Carrie sends $10, goes, I sincerely hope the defense calls Allison McCabe because of her fuck up in her last testimony about seeing John in the Albert House. Why? But she's not going to do it again. She is not that bright, and AJ can definitely use that to their advantage. Kenny, though, she'll just say it was a slip of the tongue. Scrivener's error. Nicole sends $5 and goes, I'm speaking. Oh, no. Okay. So, yeah, that would be really cool. But what I was getting at there was if Doolin drops these charges, these people are going to lose their fucking minds. And they will go after him. I have no doubt about it. And when they do, they will show their true colors. The Albert Family Rock sends $10, goes, on cross, Gallagher came across as hostile, surly, and deceptive. And like he hates the defense. Surly was definitely a good word. He's a surly motherfucker. You got that right. Austin sends 25 and goes, do you know or have any info on the Michael Welch tweet yesterday saying he handed over a binder to the DOJ to corroborate allegations of corruption and practices in the Norfolk DA, had a phone interview with the FBI. He tweeted this yesterday. Who is he? And what does this mean? The FBI is still investigating. I have no idea. Why don't you could just ask him. I know Mike. I've met him before. He's completely on our side. He's an attorney. His story is very different from mine, but it involves kind of many of the same cast of characters, like 𝗵𝗵𝗻𝗄𝗃 mostly, yeah, check out his Twitter. He kind of explains it all on there, and feel free to ask him. He's sharing it all, so they just ask him, All right, next up, to track a cat Springer sends $10 and goes, scenario, we live in an alternate universe where Karen does not call 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 first thing that morning. What backup scenarios did the McAlberts have lined up? How does this play out? Free Karen Reed and free Turtleboy. If Karen does not call 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 in the morning, then she goes out looking for him. and she finds the body eventually, right? Same shit. I mean, it just I don't know. I don't know what would happen. It worked out well for Jen, being close to the cops. But Jen wasn't going to sleep. She was going to know pretty soon after John's body was found, and she was getting right down to Fairview Road to make sure she was talking to all those cops and doing all that shit and blah, 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 blah. Where they really got lucky was the broken taillight. I mean, what a fucking stroke of luck that was. That Karen backed into John's car. What fucking luck. But before that, they were just going to be like, I don't know how he got there. Like, wow, he didn't come in the house. They weren't even planning on framing Karen. Like, that was not their initial plan. Just kind of worked out that way. All right, Paulie sends $10, goes, can we get some It Holds Liquid Terrifically merch, please? Gallagher is a fucking buffoon. I loved watching AJ roast him. Definitely. Rosaline sends 10, and it goes, Dear Turtleboy, I disagree with your take on solo cups. They are important because the blood sample was not able to be tested after the way it was collected. What if it was someone else's blood from an altercation, like a nosebleed? There you go. You know what, Rosaline? That's a good point. Thank you. Jody sends $10, goes, first Dono went through without a message of $50. Oh, thank you. And she says, keep up your award-winning investigative journalism. No one covers the case better than you. 8 more days, Doc. Justice is coming. Well, thank you very much. 8 more days till what? I don't even know. Next up, Anon Jones sends $10 and goes, Anon, PLS, Gallagher, leaf blower on direct. I'd seen it used before and found it to be effective. On redirect, I asked good to video because I'd never seen a leaf blower used before and wanted to be documented. Also, I think the defense may be opting to hold certain info for their case in chief through cross-exam Jen's butt dials because they know how credible their witnesses are. Keep fighting for justice, Turtleboy. Well, thank you, Anon James. I appreciate that. Turtle Chat, do we have any more cash apps here? Marcy sends $20 and says, why do you think Ricky D'Antano did not testify? Because he was driving and he's most likely to be sober. That's why he didn't testify. They were just trying to infer that Heather and Ryan might have been drunk and therefore didn't see that they were so drunk that they didn't see John in the front of the car. Pablo sends $10 and goes, say hi to my girlfriend, Kathy. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Pablo. And happy birthday or whatever. Hi, Kathy. What's up? Naomi sends $5 and says, do you think Lally went through puberty or maybe he took classes on public speaking? Why, does he sound different? Didn't notice. Holly sends $5 and goes, not that you are not an awesome journalist. You would be a fantastic trial lawyer, she says. Sends $25 earlier. Thank you. I appreciate that. Maybe I should have been a lawyer. Lisa sends $5 and goes, why didn't they ask Brian Albert for his leaf blower? Or his solo cups. That's interesting. Good point. Yvonne sends $10 and has no comment. Thank you. Paige sends $10 and goes, I love AJ, but fuck Bukkake ugly rat. You tell him, Paige. Give it to him. Okay, cool. All right. If anyone else wants their messages read, click at the link at the top for Turtle Chat, or you can cash at me at $ Uncle Turtleboy. Let's watch some of douchebags Kevin O'Hara's testimony. So the weather guy, I'm not even fucking around with that guy. That was so boring. Here's my notes on that. All I got out of the weather guy was it was snowing, which is, of course, requires Lally to be the person to question him. He said there was 0.8 inches of snow by 1 p.m., I want to say, or 2 p.m. 0.8 inches of snow, which is perfect because that's what time all those other douchebags drove by there. So he couldn't have been covered in snow. That's what we got out of that. And yet they didn't see him. He also asks about visibility, which I thought was good, unless he did on cross. And he says that visibility at the Norwood Airport was like 1.25 miles or some shit like that. And basically, if you were 30 feet away from something, you would see it. The snow did not cause visibility problems. There could also not be any tire tracks as a result of that. So that's a lie, right? And the wind chill, that stuff that he got out of him about the wind chill, saying how much colder it would make it sound. So there's no way he couldn't have died from hypothermia, and their medical examiner is going to say that he didn't die from hypothermia. So there's that. There's that. Okay, next up. So let's jump in the Guarino thing. Again, there was nothing to cross-examine about Guarino about this time because Whiffen does all the stuff that Guarino used to do. This trial's gay. Okay. So let's and then Charlie Ray goes. He's a boring witness. Kind of useless. He just gets that one picture of the taillight. And then this mofo. This egghead, Kevin O'Hare, is up.
Doubled out their driveway. I told them at best case scenario would be an hour plus response time, depending on how long it would take people to shovel out their driveway. So at 2:53, I contacted one of the West team members, a sergeant from the West team, to have him send out an alert to our full team just to build an availability list to see who was available. So at 2:53, that's got sent out to the entire team.
At some point, were you able to acquire or compile a team?
Yes, Sergeant Simpson was able to put that list together.
And what time did you start to begin your way towards Fairview Road?
At 3:48, we sent out an alert for the activation of our team, including which members, notifying the team which members would actually be responding. I had just finished shoveling my driveway by the time
Why are they starting at 3:48? Like, why are they they're letting all the snow pile up. Why aren't they've already they know it's a friggin' car crash, right? By then, why aren't they immediately searching the scene? Like, why are you waiting so long for this guy to rally his troops up?
Changed into my uniform, got all my equipment together. I left my house at 4:13 p.m.
When you left your house, were you in an assigned cruiser or a personal vehicle?
Assigned cruiser, sir.
Is there tracking of assigned cruisers?
Yes, there is.
Could you share with us how that works?
So each cruiser has an automated vehicle locator or GPS system. It tracks everywhere you go, marking every time you stop.
And did the vehicle you were driving have that system?
Yes, it did, sir.
Before you left to head towards Fairview at 4:13 p.m., had you already defined what the mission was going to be?
Yes, I knew we'd be conducting an evidence search.
Did you have any idea of how you were going to do that?
Yes, I spoke to Lieutenant Tully just to get an idea of the area we'd be searching. I determined how many members we would need to respond to that search, which at that time I figured we would need 8 members to respond. Normally, as the team leader, I'll function more of an incident command role behind the team, documenting some of our efforts.
Yeah.
Change the dynamics of your search.
Well, like I stated, normally I would stay behind the line of searchers, documenting what they would do, more of as a command role. But because we were one member short, I wound up participating in the search more hands-on than maybe normal.
Did you ultimately actively
So he actually did the shoveling.
participate in the search firsthand?
Yes, I did, sir.
Tell us about when you first arrive at 34 Fairview and you get out of your cruiser. What's the weather like at that point?
Still snowing.
What's the temperature like?
Very cold.
Visibility?
It was windy, but no.
34 Fairview.
4:56 p.m.
Particular area you were looking at?
Yes, once I spoke to Lieutenant Tully, we wanted focusing on a specific area to search.
What time did you arrive at 34 Fairview?
4:56 p.m.
Did any of your...
And some people are pointing out, like, how did he know all this shit? I mean, they document this all, so he's got it. He knows he's going to be questioned about this stuff. There's nothing nefarious about this, in my opinion, that he knew all these.
Team arrived before you?
Just prior to my arrival, one member arrived at 4:54 p.m.
And do you remember who that was?
It was Trooper Jason 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗂.
Were there other members that arrived after you?
Yes, there were.
Did you wait until the entire team was there before you began?
No, we did not.
The other members that arrived, do you remember who they were?
Yes, I do, sir.
Do you happen to remember when they arrived?
Yes, I do, sir.
Could you share that with us?
Trooper Blake Bearden arrived at 5:21 p.m. Sergeant Charles Luis arrived at 5:24 p.m. Sergeant Michael O'Brien arrived at 5:24 p.m. Trooper Scott Viscardi arrived at 5:34 p.m. and Sergeant Anthony Carrier arrived at 5:41.
I don't remember him in the first trial naming all these people. And this is the disadvantage. Everybody gets to retool for the second trial. And obviously they've been watching my show because one of my major criticisms is who the fuck was there? And now he's just like, this person got here at this time. That, you know, he's got this memorized. He's like, fuck you, Turtleboy. That's what's up. You're not going to say shit about me now. And I'll give him credit. I mean, this was impressive how well prepared he was. He's got it all fucking memorized. I tip my hat to that. He's a douchebag, but you know.
Yeah.
When you first arrived at Fairview and you looked at the scene, Did you have any personal knowledge where any person had been in that area?
No, I did not.
Did you learn generally that a man was found in that area?
Yes, I did.
Did you have any photographs or precise location of exactly where that person had been found?
No, we did not.
Did you have a general area that you were directed to?
Yes, sir.
Any landmarks you can share with us in the general area where you were going to be focused on?
There was a flagpole in front of the residence. There was also a fire hydrant in front of the residence.
Who made the determination of the scope of the area that you would search?
I made the final markings of the distance we wanted to search, but we were guided by Lieutenant Tully's information he was able to provide for us.
Oh, okay.
How did you decide the depth and the broadness of the area you were going to search?
He informed me that there was a vehicle involved in the incident. He told me where that vehicle had been parked. So we wanted to make sure we started prior to where that vehicle was parked, which was almost adjacent to the front door of the house. If you were to look at the house we were at 34 Fairview Road, we don't say there was two front doors, a main front door and then a secondary front door at, closer to the garage, whether that's a mudroom or a den. So he'd say that the vehicle was parked almost directly across from the main front door, which again, looking at the house, that's on the left front door. So we marked off that as our starting location and we wanted to search down to the fire hydrant.
So they're going to start in front of the front door and go all the way down to the fire hydrant. Okay.
Were you looking randomly or was there any specific items you may have been looking for?
No, we were instructed that it was believed that the vehicle may have had a broken taillight. So we were looking for taillight pieces. We also were informed the victim in this incident was missing his shoe. So we're going to be looking for a sneaker as well.
How convenient that they knew exactly what to look for. Oh, yeah. And by the way, the Kearney police missed all this. They did.
What tools did you and your team bring to begin the search?
We brought shovels.
What?
We also brought push broom. I brought a couple of garden rakes. And we also were all
garden rakes,
hiking lamps that you would wear.
Were the headlamps the only lighting you had for the search?
Once we began the search, we wound up turning a few of the cruisers around just to put some extra headlights on the scene.
Were the cruisers parked so they were facing the yard?
They were parked on the street, just covering the street, so not angled towards the yard at all.
I want to ask you some questions about the tools you brought. You said you had shovels, some garden rakes, and brooms.
Yes, sir.
What was the purpose of the brooms?
Just to help us sift through the snow very carefully. We want to be slow and methodical as we went through the area.
How about the shovels? Were you concerned that if you used the shovel, you could hit an item and break it?
Yes, but we went as slow as we could, layer by layer, as we moved down throughout the snow.
Layer by layer.
Were you digging like you would dig vegetables in a garden?
No, sir.
Could you explain a little bit about the process before we get into the actual search of how you as a team would look through snow? Would you just pick it up and turn it over, or was there a process in place?
No, eventually we wound up going again. Our searches, we'll call it a grid search, but it's a line search where we're all lined up. Again, talking about critical spacing. If we're searching for a particular item on a search, we may use a replica item to say, okay, how far can each member be away from each other? Because this was such a small search area, our members lined up almost shoulder to shoulder. Once we were on a line, we would slowly move forward, each member taking out snow, sifting, small layers, sifting it out at their own feet with a right flank along the curb in front of the house. That snow would eventually get moved out to the street where I was standing. I was the left flank on our line. I would then re-go through that snow, make sure we didn't miss any items or by accident carry an item that we were looking for over towards the middle of the street. Once I was satisfied there wasn't anything there, I would take that snow and throw it across to the other side of the street.
All right, so they're going through a little bit. He's on the left flank, a little bit. Men, let's go, heave ho. And then they throw it in the street. He looks through the snow. Anything in there? Okay, no, next. Move down a little more. Okay, so that's how they're doing it.
Before you began the search, did you have a chance to look around at the surroundings, including the street, the berm separating the street from the yard, and the area you're going to look at?
Yes, I did, sir.
Did you see any evidence that there had been any plowing before you arrived?
Oh.
Yes, the plow had come through the area. The plow had not gone curb to curb, so we had a good 3 to 4 foot embankment coming off each curb. So at that embankment where the snow had come to, there was higher levels of snow before it dropped down to the normal snow depth.
So there was a snow drift, like the plow pushed the snow that way. So that got me thinking, like, if she actually hit him and there was taillight everywhere, how come not a single piece of taillight was found like near the Asian house? They should have planted some shit down there, because that would make more sense if the plow picked up some taillight and kind of pushed it down a little bit, because the plows went through there. But yet it was all right there, like it was all right where they left it.
Could you describe a little more simply what you mean that the plow didn't go curb to curb?
So again, the plow had probably only gone enough distance for maybe 2 vehicles to safely pass each other, not enough to go all the way to the curb on each side of the street. As we wound up parking, the responding members, as they wound up parking in the snow closer to the curb, and at the end of the night, several of the cruisers were stuck. We had to push them out.
Oh, there's good plowing.
When you looked at the snow that appeared to have been pushed by the plow, did that snow that had been displaced reach the berm, the separation between the street and the yard?
No, there was 3 to 4 feet between the edge from where the plow was to where the curbing in front of the house was located, sir.
The area where you searched, or where you were pointed to where Mr. O'Keefe was in that general area, did it look like any snow from any plow had reached that area?
No, it did not.
When you began the searching, do you know what time it was that you actually began searching?
We moved my cruiser and 𝗵𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗄𝗄 cruiser at 5:20. We had started gridding off where we wanted to search, but at 5:20, that's when we moved our cruisers, put the headlights on. That's right Trooper Bearden and the 2 sergeants arrived quickly after on scene. So by 5:24, we started. All 5 of us were lined up shoveling. When the 2 other members arrived on scene, they just joined in on the line to help.
So that's new. They started shoveling at 5:24, he says this time. Well, that's interesting. Let's see what he says here.
Search. We moved Trooper 𝗵𝗂𝗧𝗂𝗍𝗂𝗍 vehicle at 5:20, and that's when the rest of the team started to show up right around 5:21, 5:24. A couple of the members with extended response time showed up a little bit after that, but all members were on scene by 5:41. We had already started the process before they had all arrived on scene, and we were complete by 6:15. We started to wrap up and clear the area.
So that's kind of unclear. By, you know, he doesn't say we started at 5:24 there. He also says we started before 5:41. So it's like, I got the impression from that 5:41, but he has since changed that. What's this?
Tail light.
Let's see. He recognized that 3 people. Remember, this is what he said in his first testimony about.
That one, as far as the 7 members of your unit, in addition to 7 members of your unit, looking around.
I believe there was 5 other members. I believe there were only 2 that I recognized from the state police. So I'm not sure who the other 3 were. They were Canton detectives, Canton patrolmen, but they were all dressed in, so, you know, plain clothes.
So 3 random guys joined this posse. He thinks they were Canton police. They were searching for taillight. Okay. So now let's see what he says today. He's a lot more. We actually began at 6:24 now. So his testimony has evolved.
Help us move.
From when you first arrived at 4:56 p.m. to when you began the search at 5:20 p.m., did you see anybody in the
5:24
area that you were going to search other than you or a SERT team member?
No, they did not.
Were there other people in the area outside the scene or the grid that you were going to search other than you and members of your SERT team?
Lieutenant Tully arrived on scene.
Was there anybody with Lieutenant Tully?
At one point, he had several other people with him. Maybe I believe 5 throughout our search. Maybe 5 different people, including him, were on scene.
Were those people part of state police?
At least 1, maybe 2. Unfortunately, I don't recognize all 2,500 members in our department, but there were probably about 5 total people on scene, sir.
Was there somebody who was picking up any
5
evidence that you may find and putting it in bags and preserving it?
After we found located evidence, it was documented on scene by the detectives.
So you yourself were not documenting?
No, and again, that's maybe a little change in the dynamics. You know, if I had been more in an instant commander role, I probably would have documented time, location, again, for our
So who documented
records. The primary record will always be at the hands of the detectives, but because I was actively searching, the detectives handled all documentation.
Did you see somebody from the state police putting evidence in bags after it was pointed out to you?
Yes, sir, they did.
When you began the search, what part of the street or yard?
So my big thing here is, to this day, we don't know which member. He just named all these guys on the SERT team, right? Who found the taillight? Who found it? I'd like to know that person's name. Who found it? That's the most important witness for the Commonwealth, is the trooper who found the taillight. Who found it? Who found this critical piece of evidence that the Canton Police Department missed going through the snow? Why don't we know the name of that trooper? This guy knows fucking everything that happened that day, except for the name of the trooper on the SERT team who found it, because it wasn't him. Notice it wasn't him. He's not taking credit for it. Why don't we know this person's name? Why aren't they testifying? I think we all know the answer to that.
Where did you begin with?
We started where we were informed the vehicle was parked, which again was by, almost directly across from the front door of the house, and we began working south towards Chapman Street.
Okay, south. They go down.
During the process of the search, if somebody were to find a piece of evidence, what was the process? What would happen?
He would notify myself and Lieutenant Tully, and we would stop our operation until that was documented by the detectives on scene.
Who's he? He would do this. Who's he? Who? Who is he? Who found the taillight?
And collected.
Do you know what time the first piece of evidence was found?
I believe it was 5:45, sir.
So 5:45. So they start searching at 5:24. But they don't find it, which is, if they found taillight at 5:24, that's problematic, because they got video of the car entering the Canton Police Sallyport at what time? 5:36. Then the ghost of the Canton Police Sallyport leaves at 5:37. And now taillight's found at 5:45, 8 minutes later. So if it was found at 5:24, that's a problem. But if it's found at 5:45, that fits perfectly into the theory that someone left that Canton Police Sallyport, the ghost of the Canton Police Sallyport, took some taillight out. Again, look at this whole Like this is, I mean, this is it. I don't think the defense went at this hard enough. Like, do we have the ghost? Yeah, here's the ghost of the Sallyport. This guy, this mofo, he just remember the 20-second jump where you just see a guy walk out. Like, what the fuck? He was with Proctor, and then it's 4 minutes away, and then that's it. Who is that guy? Who is he?
Do you remember what the first piece or item that you or the SERT team found was?
It was a piece of taillight.
Who found it? Who? Which piece? Which piece?
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
Piece of clear lens from a taillight.
And the second photograph?
It's the same lens, just a little enhanced, closer.
Close up?
Yes, sir.
I move to introduce these two photographs into evidence.
No objection.
All right, so one is a close-up of the other.
It is.
So Madam Court Reporter will be the next.
You see exhibit number 129, please.
I don't think he talked about the posse of guys with Brennan. Like, what's up? Where's the posse?
And I have not seen the evidence log.
At 5:50, do you know if another item was found?
I don't know the specific times. I know the first piece was 5:45, but again, I didn't handle the documentation, and I have not seen the evidence log.
Okay. Inevitably, did you or your team find an item of clothing?
We found the sneaker, yes, sir.
A sneaker?
Yes, sir.
Can you describe where the sneaker was found?
Sneaker was flush up against the curb, and it was inverted upside down.
Was there anything in the sneaker?
There was snow on and inside the sneaker.
May I approach?
Yes.
Now, the sneaker could have been planted anytime during the day. That did not need to, like, the scene was unsecured all day. They just put it right by the fucking curb. And by the way, Gallagher said he searched the curb and didn't see that.
Can you show, take a look at the second photograph, please? What do you see?
It's a close-up picture of the same sneaker we located.
And third photograph, please.
Again, just a close-up, different angle photo of the sneaker.
Could we get more of a close-up, Ms. Gilman?
What the fuck is that?
Sir, can you describe what you're seeing here?
That's the sneaker we located up against the curb. You can see the snow in the background, and that's the flagpole in front of the house. You can see it's still snowing at this time.
Can we see 121, please? And sir, can you describe again what that is?
Just a close-up photo of the sneaker we located up against the curb.
Okay.
Is that curb the black area to the right?
Yeah.
You described the photograph with a sneaker with snow in it. Is that?
Yes.
That night, do you recall if there was any other pieces of taillight recovered?
I believe in total we located maybe 6 or 7 pieces of taillight.
Maybe it was actually 4, but okay.
Your Honor?
Yes.
Can you look at the second photograph, please?
Yes, sir.
What do you see there?
It's the same piece of taillight that we recovered, just a close-up version. You can see the molding of an overturned shovel. That piece of taillight actually came up as one of our team members was shoveling. When he overturned his shovel, the piece of taillight was there, and you can see the actual molding from his shovel.
Who? Again, listen to what he says.
Close-up version. You can see the molding of an overturned shovel. That piece of taillight actually came up as one of our team members was shoveling. When he overturned his shovel, the piece of taillight was there. And
Which one of your team members? Which fucking one, bro? This is... I don't know why the defense didn't push him on this. Who specifically? Which one? You just named all 7 of them. You know exactly what time we got there, but you don't know which one of them found the most critical piece of fucking evidence. Are you fucking kidding me?
you can see the actual molding from his shovel.
In the third photograph.
That is another piece of taillight that we located at ground level.
A different piece.
Yes, sir.
Who's we?
Photographs 1 and 2. Photographs 1 and 2 is close up and a further view of a piece of taillight. Are those fair and accurate depictions? Is that piece appeared that night?
Yes, they are, sir.
All right, we'll do 2 photographs.
Glam.
So when these items were
Give him
found,
McDonough.
did you examine or study the depth of those items when they were found?
I did not, sir. Gave him a glance when our team members told us we found something, and then
When our team members, who?
until he took over documentation, I returned to my place, on our line.
Do you know if any of the items were touching the ground or were they on snow?
A couple of the pieces were found at ground level, touching the asphalt.
And you said there was another item found? that we just talked about? A separate piece of taillight?
Yes, that was that photo you showed me was a separate piece of the taillight we located, sir.
May I approach?
Yes.
And if you can look at the second photograph, what's that?
It's a close-up enhanced view.
While you were conducting the search, did anybody but your team, Trooper Tully, the person who's documenting the evidence, did you see any other people who were not law enforcement in the area?
At some point during our search, the media arrived on scene, began filming us or taking photos.
Was there anybody from your department or a different department that was managing the crowd?
No, there were members with Lieutenant Tully that I believe were not state police members, but I wouldn't know how to characterize what their job description was. Sir.
At any time, did anybody enter that area or scene, the grid that you and your members were working on, other than your group and Trooper Tully and the people with him?
No, correct. Once we marked off our area, no one came forward of our line. That whole search area was fresh, undisturbed snow as we moved through the area, and no one moved past our line. Even when Lieutenant Tully and the member who works in his unit came to collect the evidence, they didn't move past the point we'd searched up to at that time.
Why were you
What about the fucking posse?
so careful about anybody coming onto your grid?
We don't want to disturb our scene, but we also don't want to move forward unless we're all moving together, acting in unison.
Given you had brushes and rakes and shovels, did you get through every piece of that area?
We didn't go all the way to where I had marked off originally, because after we'd found everything that was collected, we had gone approximately 8 to 10 feet without finding any other evidence. Lieutenant Tully and I had a discussion. I think we determined we'd found everything we were going to find that evening.
Oh.
And we decided to suspend the search.
Was it
Actually, it's not necessarily true. Listen to what he says at the last trial. Listen to this shit about just quitting. He offers to come back the next day.
I told Lieutenant Tully, we'll do a debrief at the end. We'll go over probability of detection, how I feel, whether we would have found everything that was there. I told him that there was a good chance we did not find everything. I said, if you want us to come back in the daylight, just give us better lighting to search, or after a couple of days, the weather was supposed to warm up. If you wanted us to come back after there was some snow melt, just to reach out to me and we would come back.
And he never calls him back. Now we're all set. We're just going to go by every day and hope more taillight reveals itself instead. Instead of having the guy whose, I don't know, job it is to do this, search for shit. Like, nah, we'll just have 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃 and 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃 drive by. Yeah, that's what we'll do.
search that took up the whole front yard and street of that area?
Our focus was on the street. We really didn't touch the front yard at all. We started to go over the curb at one point to see if we could search the grass area, but we could not properly definitively say we were searching it well. As we started to move the snow, we couldn't really differentiate down to the grass level.
How hard was the ground?
Oh my God.
It was cold, frozen.
The ground was frozen?
Oh my God. They love.
And so not being able to.
How do you fucking know?
Search the entire yard. Was there a plan at that point? Or did you just end your mission?
So when we suspended our search, we'll always do a full team debrief, and we'll debrief with the person who requested our search. So, and at the end of our search, we'll come up with what we call our probability of detection. We'll give a baseline determination of what I think, percentage-wise, what we would have found, what we were looking for. We'll provide that. I did provide that to Lieutenant Tully. Told him there was a good chance we did not locate everything that evening, and we offered to return at a later
so he
date or
does
time
talk
at
about
his request.
When you were looking generally for pieces of taillight in the sneaker, were you informed? Did you have any idea how much taillight would be in that area?
I did not know, sir.
Was there any way for you to, at that point, identify exactly what you were looking for?
No, we didn't have a photo of the taillight. I was never shown anything, so I wasn't sure how much we were actually looking for.
Why not? Why wasn't he shown a photo of the taillight? Why couldn't Proctor do? I mean, wouldn't that be the ideal thing to do? Is send this guy a picture. So if he had looked at the picture of the taillight, he'd be like, holy shit, there's a lot more here than this. We better keep searching. Right? Yeah, but there's a reason Proctor didn't take a picture, because it didn't look like that.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes.
I mean, they worked quick within seconds of getting that 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. It's just like, that means that him and the ghost of the cat in 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, who I think is 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, but could be 𝗵𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃, whoever, there was a quick fucking handoff, and then they got right down there. It had to be someone who would blend in from the Kearney Police Department. It's got to be 𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃𝗃. That's what I'm thinking.
I'll withdraw that. What time did you end the search?
Approximately 6:15, I believe. I was the last one to leave, which was 6:23 p.m. when I left.
And so how long was the entire search? Went back at a later date?
I've been informed that they did, yes. Not from my team, but other members of our department.
I'll allow it to move on.
Did your team go back?
We did not, sir.
No.
I have no further questions.
All right. So then, Recra.
When you first arrived at the scene, was there crime scene tape up? When you arrived, the scene had been left unsecured. Do you know how long it had been left unsecured?
I do not, sir.
So before you arrived, at least, and before your presence was known, or sometime before you got there, that scene could have been accessed by anyone, to your knowledge?
Well, I think the weather played a good help in us with the scene security, because with that being fresh, undisturbed snow, and with the man tracking we do, we would be able to determine if anyone had access to that area.
Of course. But you don't have any personal knowledge of anybody actually securing that scene for onlookers, bypassers, anybody that wanted access to it, they could have had it.
Or Brian
Not that I'm
Albert.
aware of, sir.
Okay. You indicated that Lieutenant Tully first contacted you not around, but exactly at 2:32 p.m., correct?
That is correct, sir.
At that time, your team was not stood up. In other words, you were not activated because that was an initial call by Lieutenant Tully, not an activation call, correct?
Yeah, why
Correct.
not?
That's a courtesy notification, sir.
And at that time, Lieutenant Tully had not received the proper protocol, the proper approvals through the protocol to actually have your team activate and have your team dispatched.
Yes, I think he'll normally, when we get activated, before they start the process going through their chain of command, they'll call me just to see if we're available and if we could actually respond instead of wasting other people's time calling us if I were to say, no, we are already assigned on another mission at this time.
Right. So around 2:53, you indicated that kind of a
I'm going to fast forward.
precursor, if you will, for
I hadn't shoveled my driveway yet.
call that colleagues of his, Massachusetts State Police colleagues of his, were already en route to Dighton to retrieve or seize the SUV.
He did not say that, sir.
Did Lieutenant Tully inform you that Massachusetts State Police had actually contacted the Dighton Police Department for their assistance in potentially seizing that SUV?
He did not tell me that, sir.
Did he indicate to you, you indicated that your conversation was at 12:32. Did he indicate that he had just gotten off the phone with Dighton PD at 12:31, just a minute prior?
Our phone call was at 2:32, sir.
I'm sorry,
I don't know if that can.
we're not authorized to respond to the unit, to the location at that point. None of your units were en route at that point.
No, neither one of us had requested approval to arrived at 4:54, and I pulled in just after him at 4:56, sir.
My mistake. When you first arrived, you were waiting others of your team to arrive as well in their personal vehicles or their marked vehicles, correct?
They were still en route at that time, yes, sir.
When you got there, you did not know at that point where you were going to be directed to search, correct?
I did not know, sir.
All you knew was a residence and an address, correct?
Correct.
As your team members arrived, were they arriving in personal vehicles, cruisers, or some combination thereof?
They were all arriving in state-issued cruisers.
Okay, so all 7 of you arrived, 7 total, correct?
Correct. We, again, initially started 8. One member was not able to get off the end of their street due
Okay.
to plowing, so we were one member short from the original dispatch.
Understood. Lieutenant, when you arrived, given the fact that you did not know where you'd be searching, you got actually indicated previously that the flagpole, the fire hydrant, et cetera, that part of the lawn, that part of the yard was behind you as the cruisers pulled up and you parked your cruisers waiting for everybody to get there, correct?
When I arrived, I parked almost at the end of the driveway of that residence, sir.
Okay, was your tail facing the flagpole or was your nose facing the flagpole?
Tail was facing the flagpole.
So you pulled up to the driveway, I'm guessing from Chapman?
Yes,
heading north?
correct, sir. Yes, from Chapman.
Okay, so you pulled over to the edge of the driveway, sort of on the wrong side of the street, I'm guessing.
Same side as 34 Fairview, sir.
Understood.
Facing north.
So the area
Facing
that
this way.
you
No,
ultimately
facing this way.
decided to search and ultimately were directed to search, that was all behind you.
Yes, it was.
And it was dark out, obviously.
Yes, it was.
Getting dark.
No, it was dark. It was winter, so it was dark.
Okay. Your focus was certainly not on the area behind you at that point, correct?
Of course.
As a matter of fact, your focus wasn't really anywhere, was it? Because you didn't know where you were going to search.
So the area behind him is where the taillight was found. That's what he's getting at here, that somebody could have put taillight there.
Correct, sir.
Okay. Ultimately, your team members began to arrive one by one, and each one of them would stay in their car, or would they get out and come coordinate with you, like at your cruiser?
Yeah, the left wheels.
As they arrived on scene, they would come out because Lieutenant Tully had already arrived on scene. He was technically the 3rd member of the state police on scene.
Okay.
So once he got on scene, I was already out talking to him, and I was marking off the area we were going to search.
Understood. He ultimately, at some point, did direct you to a location behind you, which you were not currently focused on, toward the flagpole, the fire hydrant, you said.
Yeah, I wasn't focused on any area at that time, sir, no.
You marked those the areas out that Lieutenant Tully directed you to with some sort of grid coordinates, or was it just sort of a mental grid?
No, I wound up marking, stepping it off with the area I wanted to start in.
I see. So sort of dragging a shovel in the line.
Oh, just where the berm was, sir. I knocked the berm down, made an obvious impression of where the shovel was.
Okay.
At the starting location where ideally I wanted to end.
Perfect. You indicated that the area that you were searching was relatively undisturbed snow. You said that in direct examination, correct?
It was undisturbed, yes, sir.
But the street, everything from the berm in, the street had been plowed, correct?
To a point, yes, sir.
All right. So that would be disturbed snow.
Yeah, to a point, yes, sir.
And what was the point?
To where the snow that got plowed in, it all rose up just like the end of your driveway would. Correct, sir.
Okay. Lieutenant Tully told you that you were going to be looking for a man's shoe, a sneaker of some sort, or a shoe of some sort, correct?
He said sneaker, yes, sir.
And he told you that you'd be searching for red plastic potentially from a taillight. Is that right?
I said taillight pieces, yes, sir.
Did he indicate that some of them would be red, some might be clear, might be a combination of the two?
He didn't indicate color either way, sir.
He did direct you to where he believed you should search. It was his direction that sort of gave you your grid coordinates, correct?
He indicated where the vehicle had been parked and where the victim's body had been located and suggested that was the primary area to search.
Did he tell you whether or not he knew from personal knowledge where where John O'Keefe's body had been?
He did not, sir, no.
Did he tell you whether he had personal knowledge where any taillight material might be?
He did not know, sir.
Did he tell you that he had any personal knowledge where an impact site might have been?
He did not know.
Did he tell you that he had personal knowledge that there had been an impact site at the location?
No, he just said he believed the incident involved the vehicle.
Okay. One of your goals when looking at the search location was to obviously remove the snow as methodically as you could, correct?
Yes, sir.
You wanted to not only remove layers of snow, but then ultimately expose the layer beneath it with as little disturbance as possible. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
I think you noted that the plow had not plowed all the way to the curb, so the snowbank was sort of in the street, not in the yard, or at least a few inches from the curb line and not in the yard, correct?
Correct, sir. As I stated, as some of the responding members parked, they were thinking they were parking in a safe spot in the street, and their cruisers wound up being stuck at the end of the night.
And you and your team had some experience nature in these kinds of conditions for these kinds of items. Visibility was relatively good.
Yeah, with our headlamps, we had pretty decent visibility.
In searches, one of the things that you put as the highest priority is documenting the time that things are found, correct?
Yes, you want those documented.
And you want to document the relative locations between and among items that are found. How close are they to each other? How close are they or far are they from a stable landmark, a static landmark, correct?
So we will mark items, sir, measuring in between.
Another way to document the evidence is, or the search is to do it through either video evidence or photographic techniques, right? Just photographing.
Correct, sir.
It's like, a lot of this, it's like, I love Alan Jackson. He's obviously awesome and blah, blah, blah. Awesome. Totally respect Alan Jackson, but like, got to get to the point a little bit here. And it's like, to me, he never asks him, unless I missed it, who found the taillight? Which one? I mean, I feel like they dropped the ball on that one. Like, who found the taillight?
You indicated a number of hand tools that you brought with you to the search to make sure as best you could, correct?
Yep.
Missing anything as you were digging through the top layers of snow and getting down to something closer to the surface?
Oh, it was anywhere from 15 to 18 up to maybe 20 inches and stuff. Yes, sir.
You had to account for all the personnel who were there. Is that right?
Well, here we go.
Complexity, and with this many individuals and with those conditions, required some level of significant coordination by you and your team, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had to account for all the personnel who were there. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
That included, I'm going to go through a quick list: Bearden, Beausoleil, Carrier, Louise, O'Brien, O'Hara, you,
Here we go.
and Biscardi. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So there were 7 individuals, as well, Lieutenant, as 7 vehicles to account for to make sure you're not driving over the wrong areas, walking over the wrong areas, standing over the wrong areas, correct?
Correct, sir.
And not only did you have to account for those 7 officers, each of whom arrived in their own vehicles, you also had to make sure that those vehicles were positioned in the right spot to make sure you don't drive over the area that you need to search and might be impacted by your cars, correct?
Yes, sir. After Lieutenant Tully arrived on scene, the remaining cruisers never came past the initial location of where we believe the incident occurred.
Before he came on scene, the cruisers that were there were down toward the driveway, closer to where you were, and you, of course, were positioned with your back to the location that ultimately was searched, correct?
Yes, sir. That was 2 of the 7 cruisers, yes.
Okay. Once you learned where you wanted to search, you literally had to sort of physically turn things around to begin searching behind where you had originally positioned yourself. No fault of your own, you just didn't know where to go. You had to sort of turn around and go backward toward the area of the flagpole, away from the area of the driveway, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so as you began to focus on the other side of the house, the other side of the driveway, you had to actually reposition a couple of the cruisers. You didn't have to, but you chose to reposition a couple of the cruisers to turn their lights back around, correct?
That is correct.
At some point, you've indicated that there were other individuals who you noticed.
Here we go. Here we go. This is it. This is what I'm looking for.
Yes, there were non-CERT members on scene, sir.
Okay. And those non-CERT members included, or they numbered at least 5 individuals, not including Lieutenant Tully. Is that right?
I believe that includes Lieutenant Tully, sir. I believe it was 5 total.
Okay. So 5 does include Lieutenant Tully. There were 4 others that were non-CERT members.
So 4 other guys are there. Who are these 4 guys? So he knows all his CERT team buddies. So he named all 7 of them. Doesn't say who found the taillight, but there's also 4 other guys. So that's like 11 guys on the CERT team now.
Correct?
Correct, sir.
And those were members, I think you've earlier testified that those were members of either Massachusetts State Police or Canton Police or both. Is that right?
I believe it was both, yes, sir.
And you did not recognize those individuals?
I recognized one of the state police members. I believe a second one was also a state police member that I'm not familiar with. Okay. And then 2 other members that I believe were Canton Police, but again, not familiar with them.
How does he know that they were Canton Police? How does he know that they were state police? He just knows by looking. He sees 2 strangers and he's like, that guy's a state police. That guy's Canton Police.
And these individuals were obviously, it's dark. You're not paying attention to them. You're not paying attention to what they're doing. They probably have hats and hoods and gloves on, I'm guessing.
Well, they didn't arrive on scene right away, so we were already well into our search before they even arrived on scene.
So they started the search. Yeah, you said that. He says he starts the search at 5:24 now, and then these guys get there. So that's interesting. So this aligns perfectly with the taillight being planted, because the 5:24 they start, 5:36 the car gets there, 5:37 the ghost leaves, 5:45 the first taillight's planted is found. Rather, we don't know who found it though, but by that point, the 4 other guys showed up.
The only one who was on scene originally was Lieutenant Tully.
If you weren't paying close attention to those 4 officers, those additional 4 officers. How do you know exactly what time they arrived on scene?
They weren't in the area we were searching, so they came on scene after we were already on our line searching, sir.
So
What time? What time, though? This guy knows every fucking time in the book. What time did the other guys get there?
They may have been in the area, but you didn't see them until your line search had already begun, and you made note of them, correct?
Correct. I don't know when the exact time they arrived on scene, sir, but they weren't on scene when we started our search.
Or they weren't in your vision when they started their search?
No, they weren't on scene, sir.
Okay. But you don't know, as you sit here, you can't say what time they showed up.
I do not know, sir.
And did they come at your direction?
They did not.
Did they come at the direction of any of your staff members, any of your colleagues?
No, we did not request them, sir.
Okay.
So they were not requested. And these 4 guys just fucking show up out of nowhere. 4 guys. Nobody knows who the guys are. Sean and the Gulf's 5 guys. The 5 guys are here. They're finally arrived. The guys.
They were there for some reason other than why you were there.
That's correct, sir.
What the fuck?
I may have just a moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Who was working very close. You noted they were either from, I think you said 2 from Massachusetts State Police and 2 from Canton Police, correct?
Yeah, including Lieutenant Tully, probably 3 MSP and 2 Canton Police, sir.
Okay.
Oh.
Excluding Lieutenant Tully, who was working very closely with you. The other 4 individuals, they were in full uniform or they were plain clothes?
Plain clothes, sir.
And your focus, once you began your search, once you stood up the team, turned your cars around and realized exactly the grid where you were going to search, that's when what your focus was on, correct?
Yeah, I was focused on our search area, correct, sir.
And when you're searching a line, for instance, if it's a line that extends to your right or to your left, the search that you're conducting is literally right directly in front of you, correct?
Well, you're always looking left or right because you're staying online with your teammates, so you always have a full view of the scene you're searching, sir.
Understood. I'm not saying that you look down and never look up again, but I'm saying that your focus, the main focus of your search is directly in front of you. That's why you do a line search, so you can take small steps, search in front of you.
Oh, Yannetti copied me with the purple on purple.
Move forward, search in front of you
Nice.
as a line, as almost an entity, single entity moving forward, correct?
That is best practice, yes, sir.
That's how you make sure you don't miss an overturned leaf that you need to overturn, that there might be a knife under or a gun under or something like that, or a bullet casing, something like that, correct? You move forward and the whole line moves forward on that grid, correct?
Correct, sir.
So you're not necessarily paying attention to what's happening behind you,
Behind
off in
you.
the distance in the dark, to your left far, to your right far. That's not what your focus is on, at least at that
This
moment,
is good.
correct?
No, sir, our focus is forward as we're moving forward into our search area.
Thank you. In addition to the 5 individuals, Lieutenant Tully included, and the other 4, there was also another person that made contact with you from 34 Fairview, correct?
Yes, when we first arrived on scene,
Oh, the
someone
other
exited
guy.
the residence onto the front steps, front porch area, possibly of that mudroom.
I'm sorry.
Higgins?
Of that mudroom, so that right door, the exit.
Does he
you know, the
look
door
like a
closest to the
bitch?
garage,
Does
sir.
he look
Can
like
you
a
describe that
bitch?
person for us?
It was an adult male wearing a hooded sweatshirt.
Oh, like Higgins.
Did that person approach you or one of your team members?
No, he never left the front door area.
Did he say anything to you or one of the team members?
He asked if we were here for what happened earlier. We replied yes, and he turned and went back inside the residence.
So some guy comes out in a hoodie during the team search. You guys here for what happened earlier? Yeah, cool. All right, I'm going back inside. You guys need anything? No, fuck off.
As you sit here, you don't know who that person is.
I do not, sir, no.
But he's a male. I'm guessing middle-aged.
That's
It
normal.
was not a child, sir. It was definitely an adult.
Sounds
male,
like a
sir.
Adult
bitch.
male wearing a hooded sweatshirt.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Did he look like a bitch?
You testified that you recovered. Having a hard time speaking. It's been a long day.
No shoes, sir.
Understand. I apologize. Let's try that again. You testified that you recovered a piece of plastic first before you recovered the shoe, or do I have that backwards?
No, there was one piece of taillight located before the shoe, sir.
Understood. You've also indicated that of the, I think you said 6 or 7 total pieces of plastic that were found, that all of those pieces of plastic and the shoe were found basically right next to each other, correct?
I don't know the exact distances, but they weren't too far apart. Some several inches to others, maybe a foot.
So long story. So like he starts the search in the middle of the house at 524. And then they go down this way. Okay. So they start in the middle, which is like right here. And then they go down this way. They do a grid by grid. Okay. That's how you're going to do it. Well, you'd get to the flagpole last, right? There you go. The posse shows up. The 4 guys show up. Nobody knows who they are. And boom, taillights, who found the taillight? I don't fucking know. They think this means anything, but I feel like the defense didn't hit that hard enough. God bless them. But that's an underrated part of this is we don't know the name of the person who found the fucking taillight. And check this out real quick. I know it's getting late.
Know that the body of a man found outside a home in Canton is that of a Boston police officer, Officer 𝗺𝗻𝗄𝗃, who
Look at
was
this.
off duty.
So this is the scene. Okay. So this is what they did. They just dug a few inches into it. And by the way, didn't they say they started down here? I don't see any snow into here. All I see is over here. Did they actually do that?
Was found dead on Fairview.
Look at this shit. Okay. This is the scene, huh?
Road yesterday morning.
And like, okay, they just walk. I'm going to turn the closed captions off. So who's that guy? Is that O'Hara? The truck there, they're lighting up the area with their lights.
In front of a
And look at this. Who's that guy? Is that the guy from the Asian house? I'm just saying that mofo looks Asian. I did not hear any, Trooper Nguyens or anything like that on the list. I heard 𝗵𝗂𝗍𝗄𝗃 and Reardon. I heard a bunch of white guys. That's what it sounds like to me. And maybe my eyes are deceiving me, but that looks like an Asian man. And he's got a kerosene lamp or some shit. Right? Who the fuck is that guy? What is that? They're just walking through the fucking area. What? What is happening right now?
House.
There he is. Look at him.
State.
Who is that guy?
Police were
Who is he?
at the
And look at this bullshit. He said they started right in the middle of the house. Clearly they didn't. Look at all this snow. They did not. That's a fucking lie.
scene last.
Who is this guy? I want to know who that guy is. I want to know who the ghost of the Sally Port is and the Asian guy. I want to know the Asian guy. Who is he?
Night investing.
What are these cars down here? Who's over here? Where's 𝗃𝗏𝗆𝗆? That's what I want to know. Is that a Ford Edge? Oh, that's the Asian house that's parked in front of him. So this must be O'Hara's car lighting up the area.
He died. An autopsy is set for tomorrow. O'Keefe was a 16.
Okay, so they got more guys just trampling through the
veteran of
snow.
the Boston Police Department. The department released a statement on the death of Officer O'Keefe. John will be greatly missed by his. We send our heartfelt condolences during this difficult time.
All right. So that's that. All right, let me read some turtle chats, then we'll end it. All right, next. Let me refresh this joint. Okay. Kitty Cat sends $5 and goes, everyone should watch the YouTube video from BN Trouble 31 about the taillight. It's pretty interesting. I have watched that and it's very interesting. Good point. Gina Cook sends $10 and goes, I think Gallagher's cheeks hold liquid terrifically while sucking off the Alberts. Okay. Normal Mom sends $5 goes, I know why they moved Paul to the back row. Apparently he kept whispering, do you want to get horny with me to Auntie Bev all the time? Well, that makes sense. That makes sense, actually. Lori sends $10, has no comment. Thank you. Brittany sends $5, goes, did you tell Bradel and Betterow about the email? If so, what do they think of the email and its potential impact? I haven't told them yet, but Betterow will probably watch this tomorrow and get back to me. Michael sends $5 and goes, who came out of the house and how did this guy know there was a mud room in the house? It's a good question. How in the hell did someone come out during the quieter search, but didn't come out when John was found? All suspicious to me. Lee from Plainville sends $10, goes, Kim Fair is another Lindsay fake victim type person. Too much time on their hands to destroy people's lives out of jealousy of your success. Exactly. Exactly, Lee. You get it. Okay. And I think we got a Cash App to read here. Brian sends $5 and goes, any interest on bringing that prosecutor back? I mean, I like Matt. He was great. But I'll probably, I like doing my show by myself, to be honest. I like to have a guest on once in a while, but, I'd be here all night with a guest. Tyler sends $5 and goes, the idea is that there would be grass outline of John. Do you know Joe Neerman? Good logic. Grass theory. Okay. Thank you, Tyler. I don't. Naomi sends $5 and just says nothing. I don't see anything there. Oh, do you think Lally went? Oh, I already read the one. Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, I think that's about it. Yeah, we who's the Asian dude? That's what I want to know. Who's the Asian guy? All right. Anyway, we're going to call it a night, folks. We will see you guys all for the live show tomorrow night again, Hump Day, Turtleboy. And we'll see everybody else whenever we see you. All right. Peace, Turtle Riders.
It calls for data including calendars, alerts, reminders, notes, text messages, pictures, or videos from April 1st, 2023 through and including October 5th, 2023, 7 months